Welcome back, everybody, inside the Other Team podcast. As always, Zach Candy, Jay Candy, Terrence Scott here with you. Brought to you, as always, by Thrive Fantasy. Come prop up with Thrive Fantasy. Over $50K in prizes this week. Big week in sports, lot going on. NBA Finals, NFL still cracking. Still got the MLB playoffs. Contests are starting on Thursday. They're going to go all the way through Sunday for the NFL. That's where we really like to go. That's where some real fun games are. You're going to have the $15K NFL Sunday game. That's always going up. A lot going on there. And then my personal favorite, I always like the 7.5K touchdowns only event. That's what we're here for. I like to watch Red Zone. I like to watch the touchdowns. I like to do the touchdown game on Sunday. Enter our code, the other team. And they're going to give you $25 on top of your deposit. So free money to be played there. Just go and use our code.
Up to 50.
The other team. And yeah, if you want to deposit, they'll match up to $50 with your deposit going on right now with our code, the other team. So go in there, get down on your daily fantasy, and just use us to get some free money. And then you can have extra money to play with and more money to play with, bigger the wager, bigger the bets. You know what I'm saying? So enter our code, the other team. Come prop up right now with Thrive Fantasy. Welcome back, guys. Kind of like a cracking week. I felt like last week was a little slow. Sports kind of slowed down a little bit, but this week, a lot has happened. And as always, we're going to jump into the NBA. They got one. They got one.
We're not gonna intro it. What are you doing?
Oh, you guys want to do the intro banter? I'm sorry. I'm excited about the NBA. But you're right. I gotta. Oh, I think this.
Hey, are you? Are you here today?
I'm here today. I think so.
Because me being the only single dude in the pod, I couldn't bring this in today with this question. You had to do it today because I'm single.
Hey, look, I was trying to give you a break, honestly. Now you're going to have to get exposed right now on your knowledge on this.
All right, well, let him hear it.
Chick flicks that we actually like as men. Okay, everyone's got them. And if you're listening, two just came to your mind right now when I said it. Two people just thought of some chick flicks that were like, damn, those are good.
Man, I got a lot, but the one that first popped into my head, and this isn't even my favorite. Actually, what was that one called? I think it was like 300 Days of Summer. That shit was hot. And
oh, man. Terrence got too many. Did you just lead off with 300 Days of Summer?
I want to say that's what that movie was called, but that shit was hot. And the other one, which is super chick flick, and this one's more like rom-com, is The Proposal.
Oh, my goodness.
Love me a good rom-com. I won't lie to you.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Jake. You seem like you got a lot in your bag, too. Look, you guys were chomping at the bit.
I don't have a lot, but this is what I was saying. It's embarrassing for me because, like, at least you two can fall on the edge. Like, well, I got my girl, and so it was movie night, and she put me on.
500 Days of Summer. I'm sorry.
How do
you missed out on almost a whole year of summer, dude.
How do I explain in my heart that I know these movies? How do I explain this?
I watched all these with my mom, dude, when I was in high school. I was a big rom-com guy in high school. Straight up. No love. But, picked up some lines from these movies.
I got two.
Okay. All right, let me hear it.
And the first one is Miss Congeniality. I'm not gonna.
Oh, you know what? I do. That is the great
Bullock is a total.
That ain't even really a chick flick. Miss Congeniality's fire though.
That's definitely a chick flick, dude.
It's like a comedy.
It's definitely not a man flick.
Sandra Bullock going undercover at the pageant with William Shatner.
Yeah, I get you.
That's
I guess. It's not.
Michael Caine.
Yeah, I guess.
As like,
I always think of chick flicks like romances though, like romance movies and stuff.
I mean, she falls in love with the dude, the agent.
Yeah, it falls into it.
Yeah, I love that one.
Well, now I feel like this ain't a chick flick either. I mean, I guess it is. Mean Girls.
Blindside.
I'm not gonna lie. I love
Mean Girls. That's
Mean Girls
definitely a chick
so
flick.
Good. Mean Girls is so good. On Wednesdays,
Come on, Jake.
I can't.
Mean Girls is that's a classic.
It's
That's a classic.
I promise you turn on Mean Girls. On Wednesdays we
God.
okay, I don't know. October 3rd, he asked me what day it was. I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know. It's funny. It's funny.
Oh my goodness.
Now I'm embarrassed.
Oh, gosh. What's funny is I had Miss Congeniality written down as well, and you let off with that, which cracks me up. That is a staple in chick flicks for me. That's a great one. It's hilarious.
So that was in a handy household growing up. Huh?
Yeah, my sisters are big on that.
1,000%.
My sisters love that movie. My girlfriend just put me on this movie the other night, which is why I brought this discussion this week.
She did. Sure she did.
It was Brenda's idea to watch this one, huh?
Yeah.
Anytime someone hits you with a disclaimer, they're fully full of shit.
But it was actually really good. It was Clueless, and I was like, damn, this is.
You've never seen Clueless? That is
I had never
fire.
seen Clueless. Fire. So
Stacey
fire.
Dash, weirdo
Yeah.
now, but she's super fire in that movie. That movie's good in general. It was a TV show. Clueless was a TV show.
Yeah.
Come
the
on,
movie
get
was
with
great.
it.
Yeah, I never seen it, but it was good. I told Jake, Alicia Silverstone, there might be something there for me. That was nice. I did enjoy Alicia. She was kind of fire too. That was.
There might be something there.
Was it the boy from Donald Faison? He's in that.
Yeah, he said Petey.
That's like his
Petey.
Petey. That's like his start off. Petey, my guy. Petey.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he is. He's actually hilarious in that one. He's always like he's Stacey Dash's boyfriend.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was funny though. I was like, man, this is actually a really good chick flick. So apparently, next on the chick flick list for us is The Wedding Planner. I believe that's J-Lo. So I'm looking forward to that. That might.
J-Lo and Matthew
Who knows? That might make.
Why do I know? Why do I know?
Nah, I've seen that one too. That was a long time ago. Oh.
Wow. Well, what do I have something good to look forward to? Is this one might be a banger or what?
It's decent, but if you have not seen 500 Days of Summer, check that out.
Yeah. Okay. Might be on the
You gotta
list.
mention it to Brenda, Zach. It has to be watched now that it's been mentioned on.
I'm just gonna somehow like subconsciously make her see it, so then she can bring it to me, and I'm like, yeah, Terrence was telling me about that. I'll totally down to see that. Like, I'm gonna put it on
no
my.
idea where it's at.
I'm gonna just keep clicking on it every day until it's like on the trending list, and then she'll see it.
If you care what Rotten Tomatoes thinks, which I don't.
That's how
87%.
that was Brenda's that's Brenda's go-to to get me to watch a chick flick. By the way, is well, babe, it's like 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's probably pretty good. And I'm always like, I'm always like, oh yeah, for sure.
You can go look up like State Property and like Belly on Rotten Tomatoes, and it'd be like 40. I'm like, oh, knock you stupid. like, what you mean? What you mean 40%, boy? But
you know, no. But Brenda knows. Because Jacob knows this too. I'm like Ebert and Roper. If Jacob takes me to the movies, when we were roommates, and Jacob takes me to a weak ass movie, I'll really hang it over his head for a while. Like I can't believe we just went and spent $10 on this trash garbage film.
This is what I hate about Zach with movies. Like
Belly on Rotten Tomatoes is 16.
Oh my
16.
God.
16. 16. Come on, man.
You don't have 16
Come on,
bars
man.
about how it's only 16.
Yeah.
Really? I got 16 bars right now for you. Wow, that is. Oh my Jesus.
Zach doesn't understand that some movies aren't supposed to be like they're low budget. They're supposed to be like October. These horror flicks are meant to be made in this way. Like that's the genre that it's not supposed to be good like that.
But you know what's funny though? Guess what black film that has a high rating on Rotten Tomatoes? Boys in the Hood. Because everybody's seen that. It's like, oh my God, I know how it is now. Yeah, I've seen it. I know the experience. Ricky! High rating. High rating. Fuck out of here, man. I can't. Don't even let me fall down that rabbit hole. Let's get to the NBA. Because I'm going to fall in the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I can't believe Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm just going to keep exposing myself as a single male that knows all these chick flicks. Let's definitely get off this.
I'm going to expose how Hollywood is racist, but let's not fall down that rabbit hole.
That's been exposed, Terrence. There ain't no there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's been exposing. That's obvious, but man.
That'll be on our YouTube channel. Terrence is going to have a 40-minute special, just him solo cam, going down this rabbit hole.
What a fucking, I need a laser pointer pointing out why Belly is better than a 16%.
Yeah, that's going to be hilarious.
But I will say the way they shot the whole movie with that like blue light kind of was annoying, but it was kind of tight at the same time. But
yeah, it kind of makes
all
it
right, let's get to NBA.
Yeah, so exactly. To the NBA, before we become a film podcast, to the NBA, I think most and foremost, obviously, we're going to go right to the NBA Finals. I mean, the Heat, they got one. I wasn't confident. I wasn't sure after Game 1 that we would get back here today and we would be able to talk about the Heat having a game in their pocket. That's okay. 2-1. What do we think? Is there any worry? Like, what do you guys think at all? Bam looks like he's definitely
I always
coming
told
back.
you the Heat had a chance, but the Lakers are going to win the series. But the Heat always had a chance. This isn't shocking.
It's not a must-win tonight for the Lakers. But if you lose,
it's as close as it could be.
You then get into a must-win next game. If you're the Lakers.
It's a must-win for the Heat.
Yeah.
Here's what I think, though. So the Heat came out, played super well Game 1, first half. Remember, they might have even had the lead. They might have squandered it right at the end of that half.
In Game 1?
In Game 1, and then the Lakers in the third quarter, like just blister from 3 and just blow them out. And they're up by like 30. And then they kind of brought it back. Remember, LeBron's walking to the locker room. They have that clip of him, and he's like, I'm not happy the way we closed, but we got the win. Job's not done. You know, they're really working that job's not finished. Job's not finished. They're really working that thing out right now.
Corny.
It's corny, but whatever's going to get your team motivated, I get it.
Yeah.
And then game 2, like, was like the Heat come out in that zone, and like it worked, but it didn't because you had nothing for AD on the glass, right? You had nothing for AD on that glass. He was 13 of 14 at one point in that game, and it was like, but you fought. I mean, they fought in that game too. It wasn't like they haven't played awful. And then game 3 happens, and they win it in the fashion that they just did, and I'm like, the Heat have been here. Like, they really
in every game they've been there.
Every single game. So it's like, yeah, we were expecting because they are the underdog, and then Bam and Rodgers are out. So we're like, yeah, it could be sweeps for LA. It's looking like sweeps, but like to count the Heat like they haven't been in every game to me is like you're either just looking at your timeline the whole game, or you're literally not you're just catching up the next day and you're not watching the game. But if you're watching the game, the Heat are grabbing early leads, and it's just like trouble holding it, which is gonna happen. I mean, we talked about it. The Laker bigs are they're bigger than anybody on the Heat.
Well, that's the problem with the zone. You have when you're in zone, you have no. Well, you just have no rebound assignments because you're in a zone, so it's hard to rebound. But that's a great point, though. The Heat have been in every single game. A few bounces in different games. Like in game 1, they could have won that game. So it's interesting. But the Lakers are still going to probably pull out in this series. But they're a team-oriented. Like the Heat are a team-oriented team. Like it isn't just Jimmy Butler. That's why they're able to stay in every single game. That's why I compared them to the Raptors last year, because they're going to fight as a team because they're gritty and it's team basketball. So it's not ever going to just be one guy or two guys. So if they shoot bad, you're going to be out the game. They're going to always move the ball and get everybody shots. So they're going to always stay within the flow and keep everybody involved. So it's a good series. I know the ratings are down. Everybody are against it because they don't think it's a chance, but it's a good series if you really do love basketball. In my opinion.
You get it to game 6 and 7, your ratings will spike 1,000%.
Yeah, because that's when people really tune in. Is like those closeout games when it's on the line. You know, chance to go 7 or win the thing.
But it's a must-win for the Heat, though.
Absolutely, you can't go back. You can't go down 3-1 and think you're coming back right now against this Laker team. Absolutely not.
This is what worries me, though.
Go ahead, Zach.
Hold on. This what worries me was like Jimmy Butler performance game 3 is like obviously the best game he's ever had in his life. I would assume.
That's what worries me as well.
He only sat 2 minutes. I've seen LeBron do that and take teams to win a championship. LeBron's literally the only person I've seen do that caliber of play, not sit the whole game, 40-point triple-double, completely just take. I don't think Jimmy can give me that for 5, 6, 7
That
games.
man came from the school of tits.
Okay, it's just like it's a different level. It's fine. I love Jimmy. I think it was a great performance. I don't know if Jimmy has 40-point play all game triple-double in him.
He can play all game at a high level. I don't know anybody.
Right, but I don't know.
40.
That's what I'm saying. LeBron's the only guy that I know can do it. Like, not even that.
Not every night. LeBron wasn't doing it every night. But I get what you're saying.
In the finals against the Warriors,
I get what you're saying.
You know,
I get what you're saying.
It's a different level.
Jimmy is what we're talking about, like conditioning and effort and heart. No, like we talking about if he's gonna try to do it, does he have enough heart and effort to do it? Yes, it's a lot of guys who won't attempt to play that long. Jimmy is willing to sign up and stand first in line,
which is awesome. Which that's good entertainment for us. That's great for the game, and it's like that's what I want to see in every star above everything. I want to see every player have that type of commitment. It's great. I just don't think he can do it and productively carry the team. LeBron's the only guy.
If they stay in that zone, then he can. If they keep playing zone,
that's the difference. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. That's what worries me.
I was gonna say, how do we feel about the zones? Because the first one in game 2, it was kind of just a straightforward 2-3 almost, but it was kind of modified in game 3, and it was
more of a matchup.
It was like a 1-2-1 almost. You know what I mean? Like it was super modified and it worked. I think if they run it tonight and Bam comes back, I think it helps you out with the rebounding into it. I don't know if you're still going to win that rebounding battle. I mean, AD is.
I think they should stay in the zone.
I think it's the only way you can beat them because we've said this all year too. The Lakers are not a great 3-point shooting team.
Streaky, especially in the playoffs.
Look, they're gonna no matter how you play it.
Just find KCP. Like he's their best shooter.
And he's streaky. He's so streaky. If they
find
beat
KCP.
you, you know, inside, they were gonna do that either way. man or zone.
It is what it is.
You gotta if you force them to beat you with a 3, you have to tip your cap and say, well, they hit the shots. But that's your best shot. If it's me, it's your best shot to beat.
Yeah, I agree. You have to force these role guys to really be consistent and really hit. It's not like they have to carry the series. We don't need them to play Rockets basketball, but they need to hit open looks. When the Heat give in and completely let them shoot, like that's when the Lakers have to hit open shots, and they can take care of the series easily over the next 2 games. But that's where it gets tricky, is when that zone works and they're not hitting open shots. Danny Green, I keep waiting for him to have a moment and be like, there's the veteran. It's like he's borderline worthless. It's insane.
Bro.
And he ain't making shots right now.
At all. He hasn't made shots in 2 months.
Bro, it's so bad. I joked with a friend, like, we all know, like, I hate the Lakers as much as the next guy. And I'm on my couch like, fuck, Danny, hit a shot. Like Jesus.
Just for, like, pride, dude. Like, I'm borderline thinking you forgot how to shoot. You got yips. It's so bad. Like.
That's messed up. But the zone, to me, is perfect because it even forces guys like LeBron and AD to have to shoot more jump shots, and that's what you want. Ultimately, because like you said, they don't have the best jump shooting team. The Heat are clearly not the better team, so they have to throw a curveball at them to make the series weird. And to your further point about Jimmy having to play all those minutes, well, if you're in a zone, I'm not chasing anybody around. I'm just matching up within my zone, so it's also preserving me to be able to do everything on the other end of the floor. So Spo is doing a great job. He's doing the best he can with a hurt team because missing Dragic was key. Dragic would have been huge in the fourth quarter when they need him. But it's a good series. People need to stop hating and watch the games.
I think
take a second.
go ahead.
But I got one more thing I want to say, but on Laker Nation, but we'll get to that later.
Anybody want to know what Laker Nation's mural god, Alex Caruso? Anybody want to guess?
I don't even know if I saw his name one time on my timeline. How
many field goals he's hit in the last 2 games?
Let me know.
3. 3 field goals in the last 2 games. This is his series stats: 10 points, 6 points, 8 points. He's getting 2 rebounds, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 assists.
That's not bad though.
Mural god.
It's not great. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not bad.
This is the guy that's your next all NBA Laker player, apparently, if you ask them. Are you kidding me? Stop.
What I have a problem with in Laker
people
Nation.
Texting me personally saying, well, can you at least give him his credit over Lou Williams now? No,
I know. Why did that keep pop up
I'm
again? I can't believe that shit popped up again. No, never.
Man, what is this plus minus?
Soon.
Like, is this plus minus crazy or something?
Who gives a shit? Like,
It's not showing on what I got up right now, but I can't.
You'd have to look at each game. But my thing with Laker Nation is, like, because I'm not like a degenerate, like you guys who hate the Lakers and whatnot. Even I did as a kid when I was a Kings fan. I hated those guys who cheated us. But that's neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is that Laker Nation, how, like, Tyler Hero smirked and, like, oh, he's writing his death sentence. And then they talk about how Lillard danced and Murray and all that. It's like, you guys are the corniest fan base ever. So guys are supposed to just lay it up and not give a shit. Like,
first off, when you have the most extra bench in the entire league, the most extra out of pocket, running up and down the sideline, doing whatever, you have the most out of pocket bench mob in the entire league, and you're mad because somebody claps back.
Dude, like, just imagine when AI stepped over Ty Lue. They would have been so livid in today's world.
God.
Like, oh my God, he sucks. How dare he? Like, there was like Tyler Hero. How's Tyler Hero a bucket? He scored 18 points off 17 shots. I'm like, damn, are you even Laker fans? Because
are you even watching the games?
No, fuck that. Are you even a Laker fan? Because the greatest Laker ever was not efficient. I love Kobe Bryant. Greatest Laker ever, dude. But he was a gunner. Yeah. He wasn't efficient. My man would put up 40 off 30 shots. Like, come on, now we're talking about efficiency. But I don't care because he was fantastic. I'll go to bat for Kobe any day of the week. But you're talking about Tyler Hero's not a bucket because it took him 18 points. Shut up. You must have not even been a Laker fan. You one of these new guys that just jumped on because LeBron's here. So you're exposing yourself. Put a shirt on, son. You're exposing yourself because you look stupid.
I agree. I love that. I love the efficiency argument from anyone who is a Laker fan because I'm just like, what? Like, Kobe was the king of 42 on, whatever of 38. Like, come on. Like,
and I love it. Like,
yeah, like, I don't got a problem with it.
Because he won like that, but it's
right,
like
because points
like,
41 and 42 are at the buzzer for the win. Like, okay then.
But it's just corny that these new fans want to like move the goalposts. Like, you guys are. It's just lame. It's just lame.
Let's assume Bam Adebayo plays tonight. How confident are we that the Heat win at all? we confident at all? We thinking like LeBron?
Laker
they got a chance, dude. They have a chance.
LeBron left that game really, really heated. It looked like one of those moments where LeBron comes back and goes like 50-point triple-double to me. I'm just gonna say it.
I love Jimmy Butler. Oh my God, let's go. Let's talk about that for a second, because they talking about how LeBron says something. Everybody gets mad that Jimmy responds. What? So I'm supposed to just lay down? Because they literally just talked about how players are scared of LeBron, but yet you have guys dancing on the court each time they celebrating, but everybody's like, "Oh my God, the new generation is scared of LeBron." Weird. Where are they scared? Guys are out here literally going at him and having a good time about it.
And I prefer that they're not scared. I like that they're not.
I just think it's a false narrative to say these guys are scared. It's ridiculous.
The story is that in the first quarter, when the Lakers closed out that first quarter heavy, oh my God, I think I got another season.
Bless you.
It's last week. All over.
Oh, no. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you.
Sorry. Okay. Start that over. The story is Lakers closed that first quarter heavy. It was a really big first quarter for both teams, kind of like really close battle. And when they were talking trash coming off that first quarter, LeBron looked at Jimmy and said, "You guys are in trouble. You're in trouble." And then Jimmy
and Laker Nation's like, "Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
There it goes. That's our
Jimmy
king."
Butler hit his last dance meme and said, "Well, I took that personally."
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
How dare he respond to him like that?
And Jimmy Butler put it on his back that game. I mean, he played so great. We all loved the performance. So, of course, when Jimmy hit the dagger, he walked right past LeBron James and looked at him and said, "Oh, he's in trouble." And then had to get his boys hyped up and looked at his boys and said, "Oh, he's in trouble." How? I mean, I'll tell you right now, if I'm in that scenario and I do that, it's probably not safe for work, but I'm popping off and saying, I don't care if I'm down 2-1.
I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now if I'm his teammate. Like,
this is what's crazy to me. Isn't that like trash talk 101 in the gym? Like when you shoot and the other team's like, "Oh, let him shoot. He can't shoot." What is the first thing you say when you bang one? "I can't shoot. Oh, let me shoot." Like, you're going up out. Like, that's trash talk 101. Like, what do you like?
This
what is
why you play the game, and
right.
It just exposes fans all the time for their lack of knowledge and their lack of even playing basketball.
So when you tell me, "Oh, you're in trouble," and then I end up winning the game, I'm about to for sure tell you, "Oh,
how can you not love
like,
this? Like, how can you not love guys going back and forth and actually competing for something that they want? You talking to me, I matched your energy. But what, I'm supposed to not match your energy? It's just ridiculous. I love it. Keep it going.
Like that blind fandom that some people have where it's just like, I have to make, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I get caught in it with my teams, but that like, it's almost like you're defending your kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just, "Oh my God, he's talking trash. That's my guy. Like, I can't let you talk to my kid that way," type thing.
I'm all for it. Like, even if I was a fan of the Lakers, I'd be like, "Hell yeah, bring it."
The question beckons for the "he's in trouble" comment story thing. Is it big story, little story, no story? What is
no
it?
Story? To me, it's no story. That's basketball.
I think it matters to both players.
It's little story to me. It's something there.
I think it matters. I think it matters to a certain extent. I don't know if it matters a lot, but I know LeBron took that because he's all about like motivation and shit like that. And I know Jimmy took that like he clearly took it personally because he did what he went off in the game. So I'm pretty sure Jimmy's gonna try to back it up tonight.
All right.
I love it.
Here comes the question then. Who says who's in trouble first, and when did they say it tonight? Who jumps the gun early?
They both say it at the same time. You're in trouble.
First quarter buzzer rings and it's 29-29, and they both just, "You're in trouble."
Oh my God.
I don't think anybody says, "Oh, he's in trouble," those exact words until the final buzzer or until it becomes a blowout of some point, I guess. And I think if anybody is to say it, I don't even think it's either one of them two. I think it's somebody too juiced up on the bench, like Myers Leonard.
JaVale McGee.
like the Heat come out and win this game somehow or whatever, and Myers Leonard is hyped on the bench with like 9 minutes of play under his belt, watching somebody just dunk on somebody.
And then says it in an interview.
and he's just over there yelling with the towel like they're in trouble or something. Like that's how I could see it happening. Like something, it's gonna be neither one of the stars. It's gonna be somebody on the end of a bench.
I have it right here. I have the prop bet on who says who's in trouble first for plus 1,600. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Rondo's brother on the sideline again.
The barber.
Yeah, the barber. Rondo's posse again starts the beef. I got it.
Rondo definitely became a shooter. What is going on here?
Oh,
Rondo's
yeah.
knockdown.
I'm not gonna lie. Exactly. Rondo went from not being able to shoot free throws to being a knockdown 3-point shooter. Knockdown.
Who's on the bench? Who's the assistant coach over there?
Who would have thought? Hold up. Here's one thing. Who would have
Kid.
thought?
And what did he do when he got old? He became a knockdown shooter.
Kid was.
What's crazy was
No,
who would have thought?
Kid.
He was splashing on. He was splashing
at the end of his
career.
Kid's like top 8 all time in 3-pointers.
Kid is a.
I think he's.
Kid,
I think he's more like top 5, 6.
Kid. I can't argue his numbers. He's in the Hall of Fame, all that. But I was never a Kid guy. I was never a Jason Kidd fan. Even though one thing I love though, that full-court bounce pass was one of the hardest things in basketball. Yeah. That was fantastic. But that was not
crazy. Who would have thought 5 years ago that you'd be more comfortable with Rajon Rondo taking the big 3-pointer than Danny Green?
Yeah, really.
You're not confident right now.
I need Rondo to pump fake and pull right now. Like,
if you're a Laker fan and that ball is being swung around the perimeter, you are not comfortable with Danny Green taking it right now. But if Rondo lets that thing rip, you're like, I'm kind of cool with this. Who would have thought that? Who would have ever thought that at any point in time?
Signs of a good vet guard, man. They all learn how to shoot outside of Andre Miller.
I wonder who are upcoming free agents this year.
Be a good list to look into. Anything else on these finals before we move on to some other basketball talk?
I really hope Bam plays. That's all I got to say. I think he would just give him such a big lift.
I mean, I'm obviously going for Heat. That'd be nice to, just more drama. But I don't know. I'm really Lakers numbers after a loss in these playoffs are astronomical. I would be shocked if the Heat won tonight. Okay, so Doc is already landed on his feet. Are we shocked at?
Didn't take long, did it?
I kind of thought this is okay. Tell me if I'm crazy, but I thought like rebuilding a culture like that. Like I really thought, in the same sort of sense as Mike McCarthy, when you're with like a single franchise for that long, I expected him to kind of step away for a second. I didn't expect him to jump right back into it with a new team. No, you guys surprised at like how quickly he took another job?
Yeah, because I'm not, and I'm gonna draw the Mike McCarthy comparison. Mike McCarthy was kind of on his way out for a little bit there in Green Bay. Like they had been a couple of bad seasons, whereas Doc Rivers was one game away from not going anywhere for probably a very long time, and an utter collapse happened. So he was pretty much planning on coaching next year. Whereas Mike McCarthy for a couple seasons was like, I don't know what's going to happen to my job this year, Mm-hmm. And we had discussed last week how Doc had solidified that job with what he did last year. And as long as he wins one more game this year, he could lose to the Lakers in those Western Finals, and I think he keeps his job.
Yeah.
So he didn't have any plans of stepping away from the game at all. So I think that's where I see that, where it was like, yeah, he was looking for a job right away. And there's a lot of young talent out there right now in the league. So I think Doc's happy just to keep in this competitive. The league's about as competitive as it's been in a while. I don't think Doc was looking to run away from that.
As much as I criticize Doc, he's still a top 15, top 10 coach in the NBA. So I'm not surprised at all that he got a job, especially a good job. He just wasn't the right coach in Clipperland. Like his time had literally just run out. Do I think Doc's a great coach? We all know over the course of this podcast, I don't think he's that good, but he is an NBA coach. He's an NBA level coach, and it's not surprised at all he'd get a job. Philly needed a culture change anyway. That's kind of what Doc is good at. So he's a motivator. We always talk about that. He's a motivator. One thing that team does need is motivation because they don't play together as a team. So I do think Doc could help Philly.
That was the next question was, what do we think about the fit?
I think we can all agree that it's an upgrade from Brett Brown.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of what they need. Is Doc going to get them a championship? No, because it's still going to expose the same problems he had in Clipperland. But is he good for their culture that they need to change? Yeah, for sure.
I also just think the East is better than the Sixers. There's just teams in better situations than the Sixers currently. Can change. They have good building blocks with the Sixers. They can do a lot of good things over there with JoJo. I don't think Doc's going to take them to a championship either. I do think Doc might see a conference finals again in his life now that he's moved back to the East. They could be that talented. And I think you just nailed it. That's what they need. They need a culture change. They need someone to get in there and make everyone love everyone and bring motivation, because JoJo just don't seem like everyone.
And B needs to grow up and take
Doc,
basketball serious, and that's what Doc would have him do.
Yeah, and he's, like you said, he's good at that. I mean, they shaped Blake Griffin into a really good basketball player over his tenure there. Like, to see what outside of skill, rounding out his skills, like he became a leader for that Clipper team when Chris Paul had to lead. And I think a lot of that, like, Doc should get credit for. Being a young guy getting drafted to a team and then you end up becoming the leader. I think that falls into coaching a lot.
They sent my man Blake to
Absolutely.
nowhere.
Did they do him dirty? But in growing him as an NBA player, I think they did a great job. And I think if Doc were to do something like that with JoJo, that would do wonders for his game.
That's what I was asking when I said I wonder who our upcoming free agents, because I keep looking over Jake's head at that Blake Griffin poster, like, man, when is his contract coming up? Because he still has game. He's just hurt. He got to
get right. He just got to get right. I think he still has years to surprise us.
Yeah. I think Blake's over there just like, what's the point of playing in Detroit? So
I got ideas for a Jordan Peele comedy sketch over here. I don't know what you.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, if he's done with basketball, that is also a concern if he's not really taking it serious. But he might just be chilling. And it's like, it's Detroit, dude. I don't want to play here.
Let me out of here. Going on.
Yeah. Are you saying to bring the homie home? Is that what you're saying? Bring him home.
I'll bring him back.
I would love to see him.
Sign and trade Trez and bring him back.
You know where I would like to see him? It's two teams. It sucks that they got actually rid of their coach because he would have fit there perfectly. He would have been beautiful in Houston with D'Antoni in that weird system.
Because he can shoot.
And also, I would like to see him in Golden State. That would get weird too.
No, we can't ever go to Golden State. Those are the rivals.
That would break me.
It would break me.
LeBron already went to Lakers. I cannot have Blake Griffin go to the Warriors, dude. Like, this will really be a sick nightmare of a life. Like, I can't have that.
He's going there. That would be crazy though. I don't know where Blake's end up, but that would be crazy. He needs to end up somewhere good though.
I feel like every time we bring up the Clippers now, it's just dreadful for me. Like, I can't even.
I get deflated.
We have
actually kind of like talking about the coaching experience, though. I'm actually because
I like Ty Lue.
Like, I'm excited to see who we get. Like, I haven't had.
I was excited before the message I got from Bleacher Report. An hour before we did the show today, about.
I'm hoping it's a no-name guy.
Mike Brown is a candidate. What?
Yeah. You like a no-name, huh, Terrence? Like
I like a no-name because I trust Bomber. And it's like, if he might be on his, like, I found my next Phil Jackson shit. It's like, well, what do we know? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not surprised in that take.
I'm
not against it either.
I don't want it something in the middle, honestly. Like, this is the way I'm looking at it. Like, either it's a name we've never heard of, and it's like, Bomber, what are you up to? Or it's a Ty Lue, somebody established veteran coach. I don't want a middle ground coach. Like, Mike Brown to me is a middle ground coach, and it's like, that's not a choice.
I want nothing to do with Mike Brown.
Or like Alvin Gentry, even though I love Alvin Gentry, but that wouldn't be the right choice.
Nothing to do with Alvin Gentry.
But like, well, he's not even in contention for just naming the guys. But I'm down for a guy we've never heard of, or like an established guy who everybody can respect right off the bat.
Yeah.
I still really want it to be Ty Lue, really bad.
Okay.
Really bad.
Darvin Ham's not a good choice.
There is, I forget his name. There's like a Miami Heat assistant that's getting some burn right now for this.
Is it Daniel Craig? Dan Craig?
Dan Craig. Not James Bond Dan Craig. Miami Heat Dan Craig. So I don't know though. I will say, like, a no name just scares me because it's so unknown. And like, I still think the roster has a window to make noise, like, it's still a good roster. It was one game away from the Western Finals, like, and it should have been there. A no name is just, there's so much unknown there that I just cannot get behind and get comfortable with, where it's like, at least if you give me Ty Lue, I can feel confident in that locker room and in that scenario. Darnell Ham, I don't know who that is. Like, I feel like that's just
NBA player.
It's a scary feeling of unknown that I just don't want to get into.
Like, the whole coaching search is a scary feeling of unknown. I haven't been here like in so long. I've known we've known who the coach of the team is. I don't mind either way, really. I don't mind a no name. I don't mind Ty Lue. I just don't want guys that I feel are weak coaches. Like, I feel like Mark Jackson's a weak coach. I don't want him. I feel like Mike Brown is a weak ass coach. I don't want him. at all. I don't even want him interviewing.
I actually don't think Mark Jackson's a weak coach. I just don't know if Mark Jackson's a good locker room coach.
And I don't want Mike Brown in a meeting, because what if he's a smooth ass talker and he talks his ass into a job or something? Like, I don't want him anywhere near it. Don't even bring it into consideration. That shit upsets me. I'm bummed that I saw that. I don't mind like the no-name assistants. Who knows? Maybe you have like the next, Quinn Snyder and Mike Malone down there, like a guy that ends up becoming a really respected coach, builds a great program, and ends up being the guy. Like, I'm okay with that. You never know. Like Terrence said, if Ballmer finds his next Phil Jackson and Eric Spoelstra, a guy that's like kind of come out of nowhere and then is a top NBA, respected coach, I'm okay with that. I don't want these rundown coaches who I feel like have proven that they're pretty weak.
Exactly. Perfectly said.
So Terrence brought a cool headline today for a topic to talk about too, and it said, "What if the Clippers would have pursued Jimmy to pair with Kawhi Leonard?"
They did pursue Jimmy.
Right, and like, what if what if they would have brought that together? How do you think it plays out? How would you have felt? Like, what do you guys think?
Was Jimmy a free agent?
Yes.
Yeah, he went and signed.
That's even more wild because you would have kept everything.
You could have kept assets.
Jesus.
Could have kept Shea. Could have kept Shea and all the other picks.
You could have still had Jerome Robinson.
No, Jerome still got dealt to.
Let it go.
What did he get dealt? He got dealt to Washington for what? A bag of basketballs?
Yeah, it was something like
I think we literally just kicked him out. I think we just bought the plane ticket.
It was like state-of-the-art 2020 washing machine that we had to get.
Sweet. Oh, sweet. Yeah, Siri on it and shit, Alexa.
Yeah, it was really good. It was crazy. Touch screen. It was really tight.
Badass.
Honestly, I have no idea. I couldn't even tell you what the Jerome trade was because I don't even remember. Maybe a pick, like a third-round pick. I don't even know.
Third round? What draft are you in?
Yeah, what? There's 2 rounds.
Dude's in a 1970 draft? And they used to have like 15 rounds back then, which is crazy.
Fill out the whole roster every year.
But they didn't have that many teams. I got to go do some dive. We got to go. Actually, side note, we got to get back to our fans. We got to go some deep dive videos.
Investigation.
Yeah, some investigation stuff. Because John Brown did say that we need to start investigating something. That's one of our investigations right there. Why the hell they used to have 15 rounds with not so many teams? Like, where was these cats playing? Like, where were you going? They had minor league basketball. Like, when the hell they do that? Like,
and why'd they get rid of it? Like,
exactly. If they did have that, that would have been silly.
I do actually like. I didn't think of it in that aspect, Terrence, of being able to keep Shea and Galley and the other guys. I didn't like the thought of Jimmy because, like, right now Jimmy looks like obviously you would love to have Jimmy over Paul George on your team, but I don't know if Jimmy's skill set. I mean, you gotta remember they're
similar players.
Yeah, but I mean, they were still a 5 seed in the East, whereas like Paul George is obviously much better at getting a bucket for you. He's much better at that. Like, Jimmy will live at the line and do so many great things, and obviously I think in the locker room, it's not even close. Jimmy Butler in the locker room is everything and more that you want.
But in the right locker room, that's important though, because obviously we're speaking in hindsight. The thing about Jimmy was everybody thought he was a locker room. He was a bad locker room guy. Obviously,
I feel like I have an episode on here. I called him a cancer. I probably did.
Well, I remember we went through, because I even said some slanderish, stupid shit, and I'm going to jump in front of that train but it wasn't really even that bad because we were asking who are players that are overrated, and Jimmy Butler was one of the ones we named. But it wasn't necessarily overrated. It was like he's getting more credit than he's actually proven, but obviously the man deserves everything he gets.
During the course of an 82-game season, especially when you're going to have to sit Kawhi for some games with the quad thing and all that.
Stop sitting, guys.
I mean, I get you, but that's just a story that we've already hashed. I don't know if Jimmy's getting you as many wins in the West like Paul was able to do during the regular season before playoff Paul and all the whatever story happened. But
I don't know if I can say that.
25. I mean, I just watched it. I just watched Paul do it and get you to the 2 seed, and I watched
Jimmy in the West.
And a short season, though.
It was they played 67 games. It wasn't that much shorter.
Yeah, I mean,
15.
It's not that. I mean,
14.
That's a good sample size. 67 games is a really good sample size
for sure.
And in that aspect, it's like that makes me want to keep Paul George in that scenario. But then it's like what really matters is where we are now, right? The playoffs. And it's like, well, God, how could you want anybody but Jimmy Butler? You know what I mean? So It's tough to say where they would be, but I don't know if the Clippers get the 2 seed. That is, but I mean, does that even matter if you're fizzling?
I think the Clippers would get the 2 seed if they had Jimmy Butler, simply because they still have Shea and Galley and all them. The team is deeper than ever.
Well, you probably let go of Galley, and you gotta think of like
in hindsight, it's not enough money to go around.
The veterans go, but you still keep Shea. You keep those young guns, which we love.
Or you could have packaged Shea for something even more and got the big that you needed or something. Who knows? Endless opportunities at that point.
But I do like the idea more of signing they're the same caliber players, so signing one of them
instead of
signing both to pair instead of having to trade a lot of assets to put it together. I think strictly for that reason, obviously it feels like Jimmy Butler would have been a greater opportunity, but obviously Jimmy didn't want to come here. You know, he was free agent. He had the opportunity. We pursued him. Just didn't.
He coaches perfect for Jimmy.
Here's
exactly.
You know where Jimmy would have fit perfect. We were talking about all the time. You know, Kawhi's that silent guy, right? Like he's not that vocal leader and everything that kind of rallies around your team. And we were kind of mad that Paul George is similar in that, like, where he's just so he tries to play that nothing phases him all the time, right? He tries to keep that same level of emotion, whereas Jimmy Butler is anything but that. Like, wears his heart on his sleeve, very turned up guy. We just talked about they're in trouble story, like. He's so opposite in Paul George, and we were talking that was something that the Clipper team needed this year, was that type of vocal energy force in the locker room. That would have been something they really actually could have galvanized around and really, I feel like, used this year.
1,000%.
So it is.
They got to get a starter.
It's crazy to think about.
The Clippers got to get a starter who does that for them. But it can't be fake, because one thing that it comes off fake.
No, it has to be true.
Like Bass feels a little fake.
Yes.
And I feel like other players, it's evident other players find it fake throughout the league. They find his antics fake. So
I think like Jimmy's able to hold you accountable without. Well, for most people, obviously we all know Minnesota, but like one of his assets with this.
Not his fault. Those cats is soft. But Jimmy, I wish we had that practice footage.
He's able to hold you accountable, like you said, without it sounding fake. He's able to hold his teammates accountable in that like vocal sense where you believe it and you're like, you're right, I'm fucking up, and I gotta be more locked in, and I gotta be better. Whereas we were just saying Paul George, it seems like it comes across as like when he's telling him to do that, it's yeah, whatever, dog, worry about you. You can't have that. You absolutely cannot have that.
Do you think it has something to do with load management? I feel like that has something to do with it. It's like, how can you keep rah me when you're not even out here every game? But Paul didn't miss a lot of games.
And Paul didn't really get load managed. Like, he just recovered, right? Like, once his shoulders were good, he played every game he could. No, don't, Zach. He was coming back from shoulder surgeries, and he had a schedule to abide by. Once he got back, he played every game. It wasn't like Kawhi, who had basically a clean bill of health, and you load manage to avoid future things. So
that's true.
That's how I feel about that. But we're all on the same page, Terrence, where we're talking about there's something in his personality where you just don't believe it when he tells you it. Like when Paul George is trying to hold the other guys accountable, you could tell like they don't care to hear it. And it's something in that personality, and that's not good. Whereas Jimmy Butler tells you it and you're like, well, goddamn.
I don't know if we could say it's something in his personality because we don't know, but it seems evident what he is going, the way he's going about it isn't, like the way he goes about it in the media isn't working. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's being said in their locker room, but what he's saying to the media is evident that it's rubbing people the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think the Clippers need to go find someone to fill that role. I think that's the role. That's the role. They do. No, I think that's the role of Kawhi. Like you have to find a way to come across as that guy than Kawhi. Like that's the role of your best player more times than not.
That's true.
You know, like everyone.
There's levels to it. You signed up for this. You got to step into that role.
And I need you. Right. I need you. Now my new coach has to come in. He has to sit both of them down or just Kawhi and be like, I need you to figure out how to convey that message and hold people accountable, hold yourself accountable, and bring it together. I can't bring someone in to do that for my best players. People that I think that the Clippers need to bring in is like good veteran guard to kind of just keep the offense like a Dragic level guy, keep the offense intact, keep it smooth, keep the flow of the game intact throughout the game. That's why I still think Ricky Rubio, who's going to be available, is still the guy. He's only getting older and more like that player in a sense.
He can get a little bit more knockdown.
I think that's the roster move, not someone to come in and be a new leader. Because like you say, like Bev can be a hoorah guy, but he cannot be my leader. Same with Lou.
Exactly.
Lou can, and Lou's a little closer to it. Lou can almost be my leader, but Lou has to be like my second tier leader. Like he can't be the one that has to be
He's your leader off the bench.
Right, which is cool. He fills a good role. He fills a good role, but I need my best player to be my leader. I need my best guy or best two guys to be my leader.
You live and die by the stars. We talk about that all the time.
You guys, when I look to you to win, when I look to you at the end of the game to win us the game, then you have to be the one leading me there too. I can't like you don't look to like the infantryman next to you when you get to the war. Like you look to your captain. What do I do, captain? Where do I go? Tell me what to do. That's got to be your guy. He's got the knowledge. He's got the skills.
Terrence said he can become more knockdown. You're damn right. If we just discussed it, if Rajon Rondo can learn how to knock down jump shots, Ricky Rubio can learn how to knock down jump shots.
Absolutely. And
honestly you said the name that would be fantastic for you guys would be Dragic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I don't think that's happening. And now that he's got the foot injury, he's already got the robo leg. I think I'm okay on Dragic going forward. I think I'm cool on Dragic going forward, but I love and respect him and hope he does nothing but great things going forward.
He's staying good.
But I think I'm looking more for Augustine and Rubio. Is what I think I'm looking for more. Yeah, he's staying with the Heat.
He just called it a robo leg.
Oh man,
you've seen that thing. That thing's beast. That thing's gnarly, and he like hides it with like the sock and everything over it. But you ain't hiding it, Dragic. Yeah, we all got 4K now, dude. Like no.
This guy's crazy.
Yeah, that's how I feel on that, but I think you guys nailed it. Like. Something about Jimmy where he holds you accountable and you buy in and
you're like, you're damn right. I need to be held accountable. You know what I mean? The way he conveys it to you, you get it and you shape up. You don't reject it.
Cat rejected it.
Yeah, well,
but look where Cat's at now. He probably feels like a.
But you know, it's funny though. The reports was Jimmy Butler and Andrew Wiggins is really close. So obviously,
it had
the issue. It was Cat.
Yeah,
it was Cat in there not being able to handle Jimmy's.
See the disappointment in your eyes, Terrence.
Because it makes sense though. Because I'm disappointed in Cat though. Because it's like Cat has one of the best skill sets in the NBA.
And but it's like, bro, big body. Like he not.
Do you even care? Exactly. And it's like at the same time, bro, we could throw you the ball in a post, and they could send a double, and it won't matter sometimes. Like you're that good, and. Jimmy tried to pull it out of you, and you just wasn't down, and that's unfortunate. Hopefully, D'Lo can, but D'Lo is also not that kind of guy.
D'Lo's trying to get out.
Yeah.
Oh no, sir. D'Lo's content with it. It sounds like they might take LaMelo though. From what reports are, before we get off that, they might take LaMelo. That could get weird. That's a hell of a backcourt right there. Let D'Lo run off.
That's a lot of sauce. Like there's sauce in that backcourt right there.
So what? Get saucy.
I like that's what I'm saying in a good way.
Turn
like that's sauce and swagger.
Because at the same time. They can also get Anthony Edwards, but you'll have D'Lo play the one. It's just what do you feel D'Lo's a true one, or would you prefer D'Lo at the two? It's really up to Minnesota. I'm kind of down to run with LaMelo because then you got both of them play off ball. They can play off of each other. Anthony Edwards is also really really good though. So he's he's a pure two.
He's 6'6" and he got the length. Like
he's 6'7" too, and he
might
keep growing.
You speak him a language.
By like year two, dudes and be like 6'10", and it's like, what is going on?
And imagine when we've been discussing it with all these young cats like Luka. Like, imagine when they're 27 and have grown man muscles and that grown man body.
Well, yeah. The thing about LaMelo, he is similar. Well, I wouldn't say similar to Luka, but he's similar in the sense that like he's gonna be way more pro ready than his brother was because Lonzo's obviously older than him, and then his whole journey throughout all of this, he's been getting trained like a pro for years now. And they said it like he's matured so much throughout this whole process that like when you speak to him, he's different. Like he's just different now. He's not that old kid who was like beat his ass or WWF. That shit was hilarious.
Oh, that was really funny.
I think he said beat. I don't remember what he said. Something like that. Beat his ass or something like that. But regardless, it was like he's.
I can say it. What he said.
I think so. You can't. But but regardless, he'll be a good pick for Minnesota. So we can move on.
Kevin Garnett. Split
Yeah.
I think that is what he said actually, which is even better that LaMelo said that as a kid. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that is hilarious. That's gonna be great though. I am excited to get into like the upcoming draft and stuff after the finals. I'm sure the closer we get to the end of this season, that's gonna be something we're all into. I know me and Terrence definitely are into the prospects. We go all the way down to the high school level. We text each other all the time about high school kids popping up and doing this and doing that. So I'm
I blocked this guy, so I don't get any of those messages.
Fine,
Yeah,
Zach.
right.
Let me know when you're gonna do that episode, and apparently I'm just not.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna call in sick that day.
We already have that typed up. Like you're getting actually fired like 2 days before that episode.
Intern, talking.
I really gotta make these last couple finals episodes count, man.
It's gonna be really tough for you. We're thinking about bringing you back when the regular season starts next year. We'll see. It might be like a seasonal thing for you for a while.
Ooh, I gotta make it count when I'm here. I gotta make it count.
I mean, turn our heads. Do something important, and maybe we'll
turn our heads.
Like
you make me sick. What are we talking about next?
I know our agenda has baseball next, but I just want to go to football. I'm excited. I think there's kind of a lot more there.
Are we doubling back to baseball?
Yeah, we'll double back to. Come on, you think I'm not gonna let us get to baseball? Come on.
I don't know, brother.
I've been catching a little fever. My heart's not in it, but I have been catching some baseball.
Of course you are, Jake. I'm not shocked. I've been waiting for.
All right. Well, if we're talking NFL, I want to talk about the team that's on your hat, man.
Yeah, I feel like that is somehow.
I think it's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Mitch is sitting back with a cigar, like.
So we put up 11 points, right? We make the QB change and put up 11, but we really put up 3. Like we really put up 3 points in that game. It was soft coverage.
I hate fantasy football. Oh my God! I happen to have to play against Allen Robinson. He catches a garbage touchdown.
This is what's so hysterical to me about the Bears, right? We panic in the Falcons game. We got into it last week. Make the QB change. If you go to like Bears football Twitter, everything is like the run game's terrible. We have only team in the NFL without a rushing touchdown. No rush this, no rush that. I'm sitting there and I'm literally thinking. I said, I'm so glad we panicked at QB. If we know the problem is running the ball, we know we can't run the ball. What do we fix? We're gonna go fix the guy that chucks it. Like what do we? Where is that logic to me?
Nagy's training Mitch to take handoffs. You didn't know?
This is what's great. Nick Foles comes in and lights it up, right? Wins the game for us. Scores 3 touchdowns. Lights it up with half the field every time, by the way. I'm going to put lights it up in finger quotes. Wins the game. This week, Nick Foles looked like Trubisky. I thought it was the same guy. Like, missing guys open, terrible offense. We couldn't move the ball at all. And I'm sitting there thinking, what? Like, why? Why did we make this move? And then everyone wants to go, oh, he needs time to gel with these guys. He needs time to gel. I'm sorry. I forgot that he was gelling last week, right? Last week it was he stepped in and was boom.
That was just a honeymoon last week, though. That was
like
just
come on.
He came in and everybody was just
you have a whole week to prepare after that, and it's he needs all this time to gel. He needs time to gel, and we can't run the ball. So why are we making the change then? It just doesn't make sense to me. It just
Nagy is drawing up an amazing trick play. Mitch is coming in at running back, and he's going to throw the ball, dude. Just trust Nagy. He got this.
It's not Doug Peterson. It's Matt Nagy. That's a Doug Peterson play, if I feel like. That sounds like...
Nah. This is
Andy Reid disciples.
But Mitch is also taking carries. He's going to have like 11 carries for like 60 yards. Dude, he's doing this. Mitch is at running back.
I swear to God, if we do a show and Mitch has 11 carries for 60 yards, I'm fucking sick.
That would be the funniest shit ever. This dude's really running back.
I felt for Mitch, dude. That's the story. So they're showing his face every 5 seconds during the game.
Were they? Oh, that's cool.
And he's just... hands in the shoulder pad, just sick. Hat on, just sick to his gut, knowing that they're looking at
Jordan crying face, or was it a little bit better?
We're going 3 and out. Every 3 and out is to Nick Foles. Right after Nick Foles, it's to Trubisky.
I just can't wait till Nagy walks over to him like, "You ready?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh,
Terrence texted me. He goes, "Man, when Nagy goes back to Mitch, that's gonna be wild." I'm like, who knows what we're gonna do at this point?
We all know I'm not a Mitch fan, but pulling him last week, when he did it last week, I told you last week, that was quick. Like, he didn't deserve that. He was, 3-0? No, 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
But you was going to go with a 2-1. You guys are going to lose that game if he stays in.
Probably. Right.
But
with a very winnable game coming up against the Colts where you could just...
It just wasn't even that. He had just earned it. Like, he had earned to at least play out that game. So it was cold.
Cold-blooded. We have Bucks on a short week this week. We're gonna be 2-2.
Thursday?
I'm sorry, 3-2. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be 3-2, and then we're not gonna feel any. We're gonna feel like we're just gonna feel like a 500 team. We're gonna feel like we're maybe a playoff team, maybe not. Like honeymoon, jig is up, honeymoon's over. QB situation is right here, and it's apparent, and we can't run the ball. I said it last week. I said we're the worst 3-0 team probably ever. I said it after this last game. I said we're the worst 3-1 team I've probably ever seen.
God, why can't our teams?
But our defense is elite still. We're gonna be in games. Our defense is elite. We're gonna beat a lot of spreads probably. Frustrating.
I
frustrating.
Yeah, that's
it
frustrating.
just doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't make the whole situation on how we handled it doesn't make sense.
So
if and this is another thing. Sorry, Jake. One more thing. If it takes so long for Nick Foles to gel with these guys, then why did we pull the trigger right now? Why didn't we start him week 1? If that's the issue,
we went over this last week.
Like, come on. Like I don't.
I feel
the
like
GM forced it. I'm telling you,
like
it had
that's
to do that.
bullshit cop out because you didn't even name the week 1 starter until basically right before it, like right before week 1, which means Nick Foles was taking first team reps, fighting for the job. It's not like Nick Foles wasn't working with these guys all off season.
It's ridiculous.
I'm thinking, and I actually still think Matt Nagy might be a good coach. He might be a coach that's a better OC. But I do believe that if the Bears miss the playoffs this year after that 3-0 start, I do believe he is out of a job in Chicago and you are back on the head coach search again.
I've always been with like behind Pace and Nagy, but like right now I'm so like I don't even care if Nagy gets fired. And I didn't think I'd say that. I usually ride with coaches for a long time. Obviously,
I would love Nagy to get booted, and if I got a new head coach, he can come be my OC. For sure.
Yeah, he might.
I like Nagy.
I can't stand the way we're handling this. I still don't feel any good about our season at all.
He's a good offensive coach. I just don't know if he's a good head coach.
Yeah, he has a good mind for offense. Absolutely. I don't know if he's a good head coach yet either. He's pissing me off.
That's fair. In the same division, is it me? Am I crazy? Or when was the last time you saw Aaron Rodgers look that happy?
I still don't think he's happy.
And I
still don't think he's happy.
But I said this to Zach. I think we got to give Matt LaFleur some roses. We got to give him his flowers.
Yeah,
all he's done is win.
Yeah, he's a good coach for sure. His record's wild.
He lost one big game to the Niners to go to the Super Bowl, and they didn't look good in it. But let's not act like the Niners didn't have the best defense in the league last year. You know what I mean? And we criticize. We sit here and criticize Matt LaFleur every week because he drafted Jordan Love and made it weird for both of them, for Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers, made that shit weird for both of them all offseason, and then doubled down on weirdness and never took a receiver. That's just questions now Rodgers has to answer all offseason about it. But then the season starts, and it's like, well, shit, he drafted a bunch of defensive guys, and the defense looks fucking great. Meanwhile, he trusted that he had the game plan for arguably still the best quarterback, fucking around, Aaron Rodgers, arguably. I won't say it, but a lot of people might say it.
I might.
Who's now having like a rejuvenized year where he just looks unstoppable again, can't miss, and he's throwing to fucking Valdez-Scantling and Alan Lazard, and last night
Baby Kittle.
Yeah,
they was calling that cat Baby Kittle.
That's what I was going to call him just now. I swear to God. Last night it was Baby Kittles, who's Tanyan, some guy from Indiana State that nobody's fucking heard of, and Matt LaFleur's over there. He looks like he's 22 years old, 22 years young, maybe. I gotta give him his flowers, and I.
No.
All right.
Good luck with it in dipping, but I'm not gonna lie. What'd you say?
We ain't hear a word you said, bro.
Yeah, not that last part. Where that last part was.
Where'd I leave off on for you?
Something exciting.
In your middle of your hot take.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, Matt LaFleur, you heard me talking about him being 22 years old?
Yeah, right after that.
Right after that.
Okay, thank you. So he's looking 22. But meanwhile, all he's doing is winning. Like you gotta, and I could see Aaron Rodgers leaving still and being petty. Like, well, good luck with Jordan Love because that's obviously the fucking boat you wanted to ride. Whatever. I don't know. He looked happy.
After a shift, that dude's wild if he did that.
Who doesn't look happy when they're winning though? Like it's so easy to be happy when you're winning, right?
And balling. He's balling
and you're
right now.
You're still the best quarterback. Like,
and it's kind of to my point. Like, we kind of gotta give Matt LaFleur some props here.
Absolutely.
And it's wild because I didn't expect to. I mean, I thought the Packers would be good, and you're right. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, but I didn't expect them to do this. Like they look
dominant.
Like they look
dangerous.
I want to hit our next transition because I want to talk about this because I think this guy might actually be more Chip Kelly than people think, and it is the Arizona Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury's offense, I watched it 2 straight years. They played my Lions 2 straight years in a row. I've watched that game from in and out. The way that team runs the ball, they are not going to be a good run team. It's just impossible the way they run the ball. And just their offense is a little gimmicky. And they got a hell of a defense, though. That defense is elite. But I do not know if Kingsbury is what everybody wants him to be.
I don't know if I'm ready to pull that plug yet.
I still believe in Arizona.
I still like them this year, but I am.
I like that defense a lot.
I am.
But that offense is not what people think it is.
I think I still like Arizona more than the Rams, and I said that last week.
Oh, and I don't. Not at all. You're wild. You are wild.
Did you see that Jalen Ramsey tackle? Oh my goodness.
The Rams are good again. The Rams are probably the third.
The Rams just scored 17 points at home against the fucking Giants.
Blew up Golden Tate. Oh my goodness. Jalen Ramsey's a psycho.
Like the Rams, I don't know how good the Rams are. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I just don't know.
The Rams are better than that team.
Than the Cardinals. Yeah, I think they're
for sure.
I'm probably I feel like I want to take the Cardinals quarterback over the Rams quarterback.
Fair.
That's fair.
We just talked. I mean, yeah, Jalen Ramsey. I mean,
maybe though. Like Goff is not that bad.
No, Goff is dope. I think the defense is a wash. Like, there's playmakers on both sides. I honestly would probably take the Rams strictly because they get 99. If I get 99 on my team,
you get 99, and I get McVay over Cliff.
And you get Jalen Ramsey.
And I get Jalen Ramsey over Buda Baker's or Patrick Peterson.
John Johnson's a nice safety too.
I'm like, Jacob, the Rams are a better team.
I don't know.
Trust me.
I don't know that for sure.
They're the better team.
For sure.
They're the better team and they're more experienced. But I don't know. Like the Cardinals have a really good offense.
I think
players like they have they have good names. They can't run.
I don't know if that run game really is a good run game or not.
Even when they get in a goal,
their best runners.
They get in a red zone. They get in a red zone and they're still in shotgun. It's a college offense.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, get under center. You're already losing 4 yards already. Justin be like, oh, snap, hand off to Drake. I ain't getting those damn fantasy points. Bow. No end zone touchdown for Drake. Anybody want him, he's on the market. I'm sorry, I hate fantasy football. But
Terrence is 0-4 in our league right now.
And I got squad. I hate fantasy, dog. I absolutely. And if you look at my weeks, like my bench is just going off, man. I can't pick for shit right now.
I'm over here at 31.
Yeah, look at you suck still. Who cares?
Yeah, I put the cards to talk about because I think we were all pretty excited about them this year, and I think I'm with Terrence. I'm not ready to pull the plug, but I'm losing confidence. I think by the week in them, there are some.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but
they're starting to look. I think
confidence.
They definitely look suspect. I think you're right that they look suspect, and I think Jacob's riding a little high on them. To be honest, I think you should be worried, Jake.
I like the innovations in his offense, but like I cannot stand how they run the ball. They're not going to be able to run the ball in the NFL. It's just not happening.
I need a second to address Terrence's fantasy football comment because he's always trying to take down every year how I'm so good at fantasy football.
No, you're good at fantasy. I answered that.
You're not. Don't even let this.
When did I say you weren't good? I said fantasy football takes no skill, but you are good at it.
No, you're not.
It still takes no skill.
Good. Takes no skill. Sounds like I'm not good. Here's the thing. Anybody can win.
In our league
anybody can win any given year. Yes, that part of your statement is true. But not anybody can be good every year. That takes work, that takes research, and that takes knowledge.
And you want me to say it again? I just said you're good at fantasy football.
And
he's not good though.
I'm just saying.
Do I gotta Tony Real you? Because I said it. I said you're good, man. You're good.
But he's not good.
I have to.
You're fantastic.
I have to.
I'm your number one fan in fantasy football.
He's not any good.
I need more.
You need more from the fan club? Do you need more retweets from your fan club account?
Not any good.
I'm not understanding this conversation we're having. He's not good. Like, what?
Zach's not any good at this either.
Ever do good in this league. Ever.
I literally lost the championship last year. What are you talking about?
Okay, but 1 year. That was what we just discussed. Anybody can have a good year. A good year. But
I hate fantasy
put together a body of work.
I hate fantasy football. I can't stand it.
I do not support the...
Back to the Cardinals.
Honestly, this is a time to plug Thrive again. This is why Thrive is dope because you can do like the weekend stuff. You don't have to be attached to a sorry-ass team. Yeah, you can do daily fantasy. You don't have to be attached to your sorry-ass team that breaks your heart every week.
You don't have to be attached to Kenyon Drake like Terrence is. You can pick it's just between.
Honestly, this is why I'm dissing Cliff because I keep watching my man. I keep turning on Cardinals games and watching him get in the Reds, and I'm like, damn, I'm watching Oregon football. Like, what the hell is this?
Right. You're 100% right. The run game isn't there, but it's much like I just said about the Rams. I don't know. I'm not ready to say they're not good, but I'm also not ready to say like they're awesome. There's a big window of uncertainty.
I can tell you now, Kingsbury ain't McVay.
Exactly. I think I'm with Terrence. I don't think he's close to McVay yet.
No.
Interesting. I can't.
McVay is like elite to me. Like he's right on the cusp of elite.
McVay's only problem is he might be too elite for his own self. Dude, it gets in his own way.
Really?
He's literally a mad scientist, so he crunches too many numbers and he blows the shit up. Like, calm down, Rick. Stop blowing shit up.
He definitely is Grandpa Rick mixing way too many.
Yeah, like calm down.
And he looks like he's on 10 energy drinks the whole time. So that's the split. It's like when he goes to double-digit energy drinks, the 10th Rockstar really puts him over the edge. But when he keeps it at like 9.5 or under, he's lights out, focused, and he's like.
I just want to tell McVay it's okay to forget some things, bro. You don't have to remember everything. Like, it's okay to forget some shit, bro. You don't have to remember every single play. Like, it's cool, bro. Delete that out your archive. It's cool.
Yeah, that one was not a goal. Like,
you don't need to remember that go route in 2002. Like, it's cool, G. Like, forget that one. It's all right. Delete that.
Be remembering go routes when he was like a towel boy in Tampa. Like, you didn't even call that play. Like, that wasn't.
You didn't even call it, but
you were just standing next to him and you heard him say it. Like,
14 flywheel go. He's like,
Got it. I don't think Kingsbury's even close to that yet. So things got weird this week, and this will tie into the games last night, or one of the games last night. COVID got weird. I think there was some concern about, as there always is at the beginning of these sports seasons when COVID pops up, there's just like immediate, knee-jerk concern about season playing and how it's going to work out. But I think the NFL actually ended up doing a pretty good job of like figuring it out schedule-wise and figuring out how to do it fairly quickly, and it went pretty smooth. Obviously, for the Patriots themselves, not smooth at all. But in the sense of like working the schedule out, putting the buys together, I think they did a good job. I don't think I'm worried at all.
I don't think they should have played that game though.
Now that
it did seem weird, right?
Yeah, I can understand that side of it. But I think going forward, I'm confident that the season's going to be played and all that now that the week is finished.
The only thing that worries me is it was week 4. We were 1 month in. We had to start dealing with this. So, like...
It's good that it happened early, though.
Right.
I think it's not going to happen again and again and again.
It happened in every league, though. It happened early in every single league.
In every league. It's how it happened. That's essentially what's...
It is so hard to contain a football team because it is huge. And it's so many staff. You got all the medical and all that. Yeah, you're not bubbling. It's so hard.
I feel like we had this concern with baseball and the Marlins because it was a big outbreak right away.
True.
But I think they worked. I think it works itself out. I'm
just concerned because, like, yeah, I know they tested all the Patriots players, but if somebody was positive, just like in the Saints game, like the dude Michael Burton, the fullback, had test positive, and then it was a false negative. I mean, a false positive, and then he ends up playing in the Lions game. But it's like, what if he actually was sick? Now the Lions players get sick, the Saints players get sick, and they keep playing, and now just we're all fucking infected. And it's like a big movie now. Or same thing with like the Patriots.
It's like dominoes.
Same thing with the Patriots. Like, okay, well if Cam had it, what now if any of the other players? I get you guys tested as much as you could, and XYZ passed all the tests then, but it's just so much unknown, and it's so weird. I don't know if they should have played that game. I definitely don't think, like even in the Saints game, for the player who did test positive, even though he did come back and test negative, they should have just played it safe and not even let him play. But I don't know, man. We're in uncharted waters. I'm so tired of being in uncharted waters, dude. Like, where the hell is our life raft? Where is the rescue boat? Like, where the fuck is the land? Like, it's been uncharted since literally January 2020. Like, when the bean passed, like everything just been weird since then, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really concerned going forward. I think they've all kind of, each league has also in a sense learned from each other on probably how to handle it a little quicker.
That is true.
A little better. I don't think it's the last time we see it this season, to be honest.
That's terrifying.
I think you're going to have at least 1 or 2 more blips before they really lock it down tight.
Brian Hoyer, though.
Oh my God, yeah. So
why are you in the NFL?
now has lost 11 straight starts. Here's the thing, though. I think if you're the Patriots and you had Cam in that game, you might have won that fucking shit.
Oh, I had them to win again. That was on my ticket to win until all this came out. I had bet the Patriots win.
Like, I mean, Belichick.
That's an easy Patriot win game to me right there. That screams a Patriot win right there.
If I'm the Chiefs and I have to see that team in the playoffs, I better hope Cam Newton's not there because I'm not happy about it right now. Because, I mean, that was one of the worst I've ever seen Patrick Mahomes looked ever in my life. I don't know. Call me crazy.
It's just Belichick.
I'm not worried. I think I think Belichick schemed him perfectly. Great game plan. I mean, on the flip side of it, now the best offensive mind in the league, and Andy Reid can go watch it for 6 months or 2 months until they see him again in December
if you
or
think
January.
Bill tipped his full hand.
No, he didn't, but neither did Andy. I mean, these are two best coaches. So now they can both go back and do it. I mean, I'm not too concerned with what I saw from Kansas City last night.
I know, healthy Cam.
He's definitely not turning over twice in the red zone.
They're a Super Bowl contender. Like,
I think that's fair. Absolutely.
Like, they're a Super Bowl contender.
They are as good as anybody.
Yeah.
They are as good as anybody in that conference, which means you have to be as good as the Ravens.
Ooh, the Bills are good though.
Man, I love the Bills. I am big on Bills Mafia. I actually might jump through a folding table as soon as we get on recording today, just to
as good as Jalen Ramsey is, man. That Josh Allen take did not age well. Like, that didn't age well. That dude is nice.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is awesome, and he's a competitor, man. He hurt his shoulder.
Oh, yeah, he'll run you over
and just put it back on him. Bills are definitely. You're right, Terrence. I misspoke there because in the AFC, you also have to be as good as the Bills. They are really good, and they have a good defense, and they can run the ball.
With the Ravens and Chiefs, that's a lot of good teams in the AFC.
Yeah, Steelers are really good this year. I think people are still sleeping on the Steelers. I said it
during
our hot takes.
Second best coach in football.
Like the Steelers.
Absolutely not.
I think Jacob said this in our pre-meeting.
Mike Tomlin is not the second best coach in football.
Second best coach in football. You're crazy.
No.
Second best coach in football. Behind
Andy
Billy
Reid,
D.
Bill Belichick, John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh. All three are better than him.
John Harbaugh almost lost his job until Lamar Jackson saved his job.
Harbaugh and Tomlin are comparable. I might lean Tomlin.
When did John Harbaugh almost lose his job?
Are you kidding me? When they started Lamar Jackson 3 years ago, that's the reason why Lamar came in abruptly. Is because Harbaugh was about to get fired.
The end of the Flacco era. The end of the Flacco
he was about
era
to get fired.
Was definitely.
I don't know if Joe Flacco was ever about to cost him his job. I think Joe Flacco.
All the reports where Harbaugh was about to get fired, bro. This is not smoking.
Definitely hot seat. Definitely hot seat. I definitely don't think Mike Tomlin's the second best coach. Obviously, I definitely like Andy Reid, Bill Belichick.
You can argue Andy. I'm not gonna close it.
Absolutely.
But he's a top 5 coach in the NFL.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mike Tomlin, Jake. Every year he's had Ben Roethlisberger.
He was almost in a playoffs.
That's fine. But I'm not giving him 2 over John Harbaugh. I won't do it.
Oh well. Then
what has John done?
I mean, I think they're comparable. I think there's more consistency and longevity with Tomlin.
1,000%. 1,000%.
If Tomlin has his quarterback, he's a lock for the playoffs. They don't miss the playoffs. Like, literally, they don't, Jacob, with Big Ben. Mike Tomlin and Big Ben, don't matter who else you got out there. They're going to the playoffs.
Guy won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, who's now on the bench for the Jets.
Tight with the top defense that year. Great run. Great
run.
But
he hasn't won one with Lamar Jackson.
He hasn't done anything yet.
Talent.
He hasn't done anything really since then, Jake.
Yeah, but if we're gonna split hairs, he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet with a generational talent in Lamar Jackson. So it's like
so now this year this week he has.
No, it's not that way. You're the one spinning it this way.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that way at all.
I'm saying.
What I'm saying is, if you're gonna say some headline, I could throw out some ridiculous headline as well. Is what I'm saying. Because no, I don't feel that way at all about Baltimore. That they need to win a Super Bowl.
What ridiculous headline did I say? That he won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco?
That he's head and shoulders. You're basically saying he's head and shoulders above Mike Tomlin.
If you give me the 2, I'm taking John Harbaugh.
That's fine. You can take who you want.
You can have him.
Absolutely.
Who no one wants, including the Texans.
Oh yeah, great.
Bill O'Brien.
Terrence
and I popped champagne when we got that fucking notice.
Man,
God.
They finally freed the homie. Like, Deshaun Watson didn't deserve this. Like, you paid him all that money to have him in prison with this loser. Like, God. And they said he was we all know he was the GM, but they said he was power crazy. Like, he literally walked around the facility like he could be untouched, and he rubbed the players so wrong. That's why you don't give coaches GM powers. It's kind of strange.
I think we've had this too with the basketball conversation about how not giving coaches president of basketball operations, it's almost always a bad idea. I think the same thing in football.
That's why Philly was smart by that. Doc does not have GM powers.
Absolutely. I think it's the same in football. When you give your head coach those GM powers, I think you're setting yourself up for disaster. And you just said right, like a power struggle, power control.
Who's the GM in New England?
It is Bill, actually, I believe. Bill does have that.
Well, he's cool.
One of the rare. He's one of
but
the
their
rare
culture
ones.
is so different and just so
100%.
never can be replicated.
100%. I don't know. The only bad thing for Deshaun Watson to me is that Bill O'Brien just set his next 2 seasons minimum back by giving away all the draft picks, and now Deshaun's going to be carrying a new coach
He traded DeAndre Hopkins for no reason just to get Cam. Like, good. Thanks for giving me Brandon Cooks.
Who's the owner in Houston?
Horrible
Remind
guy.
me again.
Horrible
Yeah,
guy.
terrible.
Or not Steve McNair. Bob McNair.
Bob McNair.
R.I.P. Steve. Sorry about that. I hate to do that to you.
Yeah, fantastic quarterback.
This one doesn't make sense to me. Bob lets him take over GM powers. Lets him make the move. Gut the team. Goodbye, DeAndre. Everyone's gone. We're bringing in old washed bums. And then you can him 4 weeks later. So now, like, what? Why did you give him all that power just to completely the whole thing immediately? Like, not saying what Bill was doing was good. I think he absolutely destroyed the team. But it just doesn't make sense to me from Bob's.
I know what makes sense would be is getting Eric B to go play with Deshaun Watson. That would be a great head coach for them.
But it's going to be a tough job to sell with no draft picks. It's
Really?
Yeah, they was ranking that. The teams that are going to end up being with like potential teams are going to have head coaches. My Lions were like one of the top teams because like our franchise kind of has some good pieces, but horrible coaching. So
and
it's like
competitive picks or anything like that. So it's like
exactly.
I can sell the job to you. Like if you come into the Detroit office and like we're talking about
Atlanta has a good one as well though. That's a good job.
Absolutely. Eric Benemy or whatever is he obviously yes, he's looking for a job, but you're selling your job to him more than he's selling himself to you, right? Like
he's going to have a lot of teams.
Cuz he kind of has pick of the litter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So more than him coming into your office and saying, "Hey, I'm the guy here, for XYZ." It's almost role reversal in your organization is approaching him and saying, okay, well, don't go pick them because here I'll give you these pieces. I mean, if you're the Texans, how are you selling your job to any top candidate?
Well, here's the jobs I think that would be on the market. You have Atlanta, Detroit. Well, these are just teams I think just in general. Teams that will probably teams in general are most likely to give it their coach. You have Detroit. You have Atlanta. Obviously, we already have the team that fired their coach. And Houston. And everybody else might keep their coach.
Jacksonville could be a thing at any time. I won't lie. We almost covered this year.
I was going to ask you that. Who is your coach?
Doug Marrone still.
Oh no, he's for sure.
The Jets. You got to think
that thing is blistering hot. Yeah, Adam Gase was my next one. So it's 5 coaches.
Adam Gase is going to be in there.
Damn, Marrone is still your coach? Wow, that seat has to be blistering hot.
Yeah. He was. Remember the report was that he got fired this offseason, and then 2 days later, Dave Caldwell was like, "No, that's fake news." And we were like, "Wait, what? How does fake news like that?"
It's 5 jobs, maybe 6. So you have.
Right. I think this is a dark horse for a job as well if it gets bad enough.
That's actually not the team in our division. I think it's Zimmer who's the dark horse to get fired.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both. Yeah, not a bad call.
But that was my 16 was Minnesota. So I think it's the Jets, Houston, obviously, Jags, Lions. What was the other one? Atlanta. That's the 5 for sure, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And then 6, it could be the Bears and then the Vikings.
Right, or Vikings might get rid of their coach, something in there.
I mean, out of all those, I like the thought of Atlanta if you're an offensive mind coach because Julio Jones.
The 2 best jobs is Atlanta and Detroit out of all those teams.
And you got good veteran quarterbacks with good young receivers, and you just need to really stack up your defense. Is really what you're looking to do.
Both teams, which is funny though, Atlanta and Detroit both have playmakers on both sides of the ball. They just
both have defensive head coaches.
Exactly. Neither one. Man, I can't. It sucks. Cause Quinn. I don't feel like Quinn's a bad coach, but
no,
man,
Quinn's bad. Quinn stinks, dude. They just said some crazy shit. Like since 2016, these fools have given up almost 300 points in the last 2 minutes of halves.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he got to go back to just being a coordinator and only worry about
Jesus.
Like, that's bad. That's so.
What's
bad.
crazy is though they said the report is though. Wait, no, go. Good.
I was gonna say they pulled that stat up last night, and then Aaron Rodgers fucking went and scored with like 45 seconds left in the half.
Damn. Because this report's. Because I wonder where he goes. Like, if he does end up back as a DC, I wonder where he goes. Because they said, like, with Patricia, if he gets canned, it's reports that he's just going to run back to Patriot Land, which is so lame.
Bill, take me back.
Hey, can I be, like, the D-line coach?
I will say this. If Dan Quinn gets canned from Atlanta, I think if he goes and gets a DC job somewhere, I don't think you're bad off for that organization.
No.
I'm not against that.
He proved.
No, he's a good DC. I don't mind him as a head coach. I just think his time's over there. It's just running its course. But by the numbers, it sounds bad.
Bro, he's got to be gone. He's got to be.
Zimmer though, I do think Zimmer is on the hot seat.
And I think it's warming up, but I think he's gonna keep his job.
It's Kirk Cousins. He's like, look, what am I working with?
I think Zimmer's gonna win enough games to keep his job.
Like 7 games. That might keep him his job.
They might win 9 games still. Like they're not bad.
Yeah,
they're not good.
Dalvin
might not be good. I think you guys might both be right.
So
they can run the hell out of the ball though too.
You run it well and keep it out of Kirk's hands.
I know, Terrence, I wrote this down. I don't know if you want to get into it just because Orlovsky was talking about the Bears. Patricia was in the headlines again with, another comment about he had so much to overcome and do with this roster he overtook. Anything there? You want to get into it at all? We could table it.
Let me sit up in my chair. This man was brought to this team to bring us to the next step, which at the time we all felt was good because he's this Patriot disciple, even though no Patriot disciple has ever been any good. So I don't know what the hell we were thinking. Clearly got fooled. But
before Matt Patricia got there, we
were 9-7, back-to-back 9-7 years. And the reason why we fired Jim Caldwell was because of that. We said the team was better than that, and that we needed to be taking a better step. That those teams should have been 11-5 and 10-6 and so forth. They were playoff teams. So then we bring in this guy, Matt Patricia, this defensive guru, who has shown us that he knows nothing about defenses. Like we have the same issues every year: no pass rush, can't stop the run. It's the same things every single year. And then this guy has the audacity to say it's so many things to fix when the culture had already been fixed and they were a good team. So it's just annoying to hear this guy. He really truly thinks he's the smartest guy in the room and that he can do no wrong. He acts like he's Bill Belichick, bro. You're not him. You're his disciple, and you're just his defensive coordinator.
Matt Patricia has now won 10 games.
And lost 15 out of 17.
He took over 2 9-7 teams. So the audacity to just not have any sort of awareness around you to say that comment, well, we knew when we got here, or I knew when I got here, that there was a lot of work to do. I don't know, brother. I don't know if there was a ton of work to do. The team had just went 9-7 and was really just trying to get over the hump. I mean, you had the pieces. Kenny Galladay's coming in. I mean, you had stuff to work with. And
his career win percentage is .292.
So to say that is
10-25.
Asinine to me.
Wow.
I don't know. Like
that's worse than Steve Mariucci. Oh my Jesus.
Oh, Steve Mariucci.
Oh. How is this possible? This dude is right there with Rod Marinelli at 10-38. Oh goodness gracious.
So, I mean, I guess the next step to me, if you are the Lions, would be you got to get him out of there sooner rather than later to me, because I don't think the locker room respects him much as a coach. So
he did us like Bill O'Brien. He gutted our team too. We got rid of Diggs. We got rid of Glover Crane retired. We got rid of Slay. Like Golden Tate is gone. Like we got rid of so much because of this idiot and Bob Quinn. Oh man, that's all I got on these idiots. I'm done.
Yeah.
Lions, I'll root for them. Just don't get rid of Stafford.
I don't like to sound cruel. Like I know I don't try to bring up the Lions just to make you go through pain. I know it's been
your team sucks
a tough stretch. Right. That's what I was going to say. Overall, my team sucks ass too. So I just want to know. I know they made headlines.
Like we said it in our text. If the Bears and Lions could fuse forces, like the Wonder Twins, that'd be the best team in football.
All offense, all defense. We'd really be elite. We'd be something to mess
fantastic. That defense in Chicago is so nice, man.
I mean, blend our blues together. It might create something good looking too. Who knows?
That actually would be a cool, nice little color scheme.
The one team I did want to touch, and I just
freed. This is another guy that needs to be freed. Yes, please touch this.
Yeah, this is exactly how I wrote it for the agenda. And this is crazy that this is how we have to phrase it now, and it's just like Clipper's gonna Clipper. This is how it feels now. Cowboy's gonna Cowboy, dude. Like, give him all the weapons in the world. Put together a team that we all look at on paper and fully believe in, and everyone except Jacob down there is gonna go, damn, this team should win a lot of games. I went in just like last year. I went head first into the Cowboys. This team's got to win a lot of games. And they just find ways to just stink.
Dak isn't appreciated. That dude be out there balling every single
week. That's been my boy for a while. I loved Dak in college. I loved his leadership. Free him.
This is me drinking my cowboy tea about how every year I gotta catch the third degree for a freaking episode. When I say
Was I high on the Cowboys like that?
I don't know. Zach
probably
probably
picked them to win the division.
I'll take.
And I had it, and I every year when I say
I can't
Eagles
see me
or
picking the
somebody's
Eagles.
gonna win the division, and everybody tells me, well, the Cowboys are looking good, and I said, yeah, they're looking good for another 8 wins. Talk to me later. This is me drinking.
It's a lot of tea in that cup, man.
I'm saying, dude.
Like, it's a lot of hate I get. No. I'm just saying. I mean, Zach's right. It's. I don't know what it is at this point. It's almost.
I was gonna ask, what is it? Why do they lose?
Because
they didn't clean house. So why the hell did you get a new coach but not get a new coach?
And here's the thing, Jerry. Every year, it's like, well, we need more weapons on offense, and it's offense this and offense.
Like,
that.
how's that even possible? How do you get a new coach but not get a new coach? Like, how the hell is that possible? They kept basically everybody.
It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing.
Like, it's amazing. Like, you still have the same OC. Like, why didn't they get rid of things?
You need to go make that play and get, like, a defensive, like, playmaker game changer because they keep getting the Amari Coopers and Zeke's. And
they wanted Jamal Adams.
And CeeDee Lamb and this. Go spend that first-round draft pick or that big signing. Like, you're trying to beat around the bush with it. And, like, yeah, you got Aldon Smith, who does seem like he's turning his career kind of back around and playing all right. But, like, I mean,
that is a fantastic athlete, dude.
It is, but you're trying to get out the easy way. You're trying to cut the corner on this defense where it's like, go get a guy. Go get a guy. You don't have a guy in the secondary. You haven't had a guy in the secondary in years. And you have one of the worst pass defenses yet again.
I do want to shout out in that secondary is a 6'6" product, Darian Thompson. Shout out Perry
High
School.
Is
that what he is?
Yes.
BYU, right? No, Boise State.
He's the one that got torched on that trick play by Jarvis throwing to Odell. He's the one diving at Odell's feet.
His wife went to Highland High School. Does anybody realize who his wife was? Terrence, you ran track with her.
Yes, I do. Chelsea
Washington. I didn't realize that.
Washington. Chelsea
That's
Washington.
wild.
Yep. That's Darian Thompson's wife?
That's his wife.
Good for them.
Good for them as well.
But
you don't, and
like, don't have shit.
Darian's awesome. He got drafted in the 3rd round, I believe, and he set a bunch of records at Boise.
Actually, I think 2nd round.
He's a 2nd round pick.
And he set crazy records at Boise.
No, he's 3rd round.
But he's not a guy. Jamal Adams is a guy. You need a fucking game changer.
He's just a jag. He's just another guy.
And I don't even want to put it like that because he's awesome. But that's and like somehow when your secondary gets gutted for one of the worst secondaries every year, all we can seem to talk about is Dak Prescott and that he didn't do enough. How the fuck does that make sense?
He does enough to me.
Right, I agree. That's what I'm saying. How the fuck does that make sense? That's what it is to me when it comes to the Cowboys.
You know, it's funny though, because I want to sip my tea. Because you're talking about how Seattle defense worries you. Well, they went and got a playmaker in Jamal Adams, and they're 4-0 because they have
not because their defense. They have literally given up 500.
Yeah, but they make enough plays. They make enough plays.
Because they got guys.
They have guys.
Don't make enough plays.
The defense makes plays.
Russell Wilson has thrown like 20 touchdowns already this year. Russell Wilson is making plays.
But the defense makes enough plays because they have guys who make plays, just like Dallas. If Dallas could follow that same blueprint, they'll win games. Dallas offense is just as elite as Seattle's. They just don't have a defense that makes just slightly enough plays to win the damn game.
That's
literally what you're
I'm not going to sit here and tote the Seattle defense and act like they're doing a lot.
I'm not saying it's Legion of Boom, but they have guys that make plays. I agree there. I do agree there. It's better than what the numbers are going to tell you. Absolutely.
I mean, it's
guys.
Russell Wilson's
guys make plays in big.
How many plays are you making?
They played 3 high-scoring teams already. They played the Falcons, Patriots, and Cowboys. All those teams scored points.
3 elite offenses, and Cam was playing in that game.
Yes. And then they did play Miami last week and gave up 23, but Fitzmagic, he's not even balling on the low. But he's about to lose his job to
Fitzmagic has really not been balling too hard. He just had this is the, what is it, out of every game this year, this is the second one. So 2 of the 4 games, he's had multiple picks, no touchdowns.
That sounds like Nick Fitzmagic, though. He's either gonna go damn near beat Seattle and stay in the game, or he's going to throw 2 picks in the touchdown.
He's about to do what he always does. He's about to lose his job to a kid. He's just a bridge quarterback.
Yeah, he always is. A good bridge, though.
But he keeps winning their games. He almost beat the Bills. It was 28-31 in that game. He almost beat the Bills.
Yeah, he's definitely. That's what I'm saying. He's going to go damn near win you a game, or he's going to have.
But then
he's a slinger.
He spanked up your Jags. Some respect.
Some respect on his damn name.
We're not talking about that game.
He came out with the taco meat on the chest, talking shit right after the game.
With a chain, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better recognize for them.
We know the Jags suck and that they ain't got no backups. Ain't nothing I ain't never told you. What the fuck?
I know this isn't really the biggest college football podcast. We don't get into it too heavy, but I did want to get into it. I know Terrence brought it up. Now that everyone's committed, like literally every football conference is committed to play football now. But it's still just weird. It's different. Each conference kind of has a different amount of games. No one's really playing same amount of games on the same level playing field. The schedule's gotten all worked out. How do you guys feel about that stuff? How do you guys feel about still being a 4-team playoff? I know the Pac-12 petitioned to move it to 8 teams this year. That way more teams get in because it is different circumstances. They said, no, it's going to be 4 teams. So this 4-team playoff and this 4-team playoff format with kind of everyone playing a different schedule.
Kind of feels to me like the 14 playoffs going to end up being 3 SEC teams. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
That's probably how it would be.
And it just seems weird and unfair to the rest of the league. I kind of would have agreed with the 8-team with like every other league, basically. You know, basketball expanded their kind of playoffs to a bit with the play-in, with Dame, the play-in series thing, with Memphis and Portland. Baseball added teams this year. You know, really everybody who's been affected with their seasons and games, like NFL is going to keep their playoff format because they're not really being affected. They're still going to play 16 games. So that makes sense. You know, you don't have to change that. But everybody else whose schedules have been affected, you've seen them, you know, adjust their playoff format to try to make it more accommodating. It seems weird to me that the NCAA wouldn't do that in my eyes.
Yeah, I think it's just standard NCAA. Like they're so stuck in their ways. Like we're not paying anybody. We never have. We're not changing the format because we don't do that and we don't want to. Like this is the product we're giving you. It's the product we always give you. And this is the product it's going to be. Take it or leave it. We're the football, and this is what we do. That's how I feel about the whole thing. That's kind of how every conference goes about it too. And that's the problem with NCAA not really being one governing body in a sense. You know, everyone can kind of do their own thing with the conferences. It's hard to create uniformity. It's hard to create a fair level playing field when everyone kind of feels like they can create an edge or do their own little thing because they all kind of work separately. You got to find a way to kind of bring everyone together under one governing body in a sense, because the NCAA doesn't feel like they are that governing body, even though they're supposed to be.
I agree with you 100%, Zach.
I always want more teams in the playoffs, by the way, for college football, not just because it's COVID.
It should be. No, 1,000%.
I think regardless, 4 teams is way too small for essentially what is 300 Division I football schools.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and we have to whittle it down to 4 teams. Like, I'm asking for like 6 or 8 would really be ideal.
That's still not enough, but it's better than 4.
And it's not. But for football, we can get 2 rounds of playoffs that way and really, you know, do it a lot better, or 3 rounds, whatever it's going to be. That's how I feel in the format. I feel like, COVID gives you a better edge to expand the format, but I think this is the same conversation we had before COVID. Like, is it enough teams? Do we like the format? What do we think about the NCAA being so iron-fisted? Like, it's the same stuff. We're just disguising the topic, I feel like, with COVID this year.
Who do you got as your best team right now in college, Zach?
I think it's easy. I think it's right in front of us. I think it's Clemson. I think they're better than Alabama.
I would say, I get you. It probably is Clemson. I can't just count out Alabama or even Georgia for that matter. Georgia and Kirby Smart are looking damn good right now. I can't really.
I think we can't rule out Ohio State either, because when they take the field, I think eyes are gonna pop out of your head there too. They're gonna be right in that mix, but we got to get them on the field.
Anybody from the Pac-12 gonna make any noise whatsoever?
Really burns me to say this, but I do think SC will play better than most people think this year.
I was thinking Oregon. I kind of liked Oregon to have a bounce back year.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Oregon days are done. I'll tell you, I know who's not. My Bruins and Chip Kelly are going to look pretty god-awful. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's still Darian Thompson-Robinson.
Right. Stanford, they lost Costello. He's playing over in the SEC at Mississippi State. That worries me there with their quarterback problems. Shout out, actually, Alex Crawford, who listens to this podcast a lot, and his Oregon State Beavers. I know he's always optimistic, but I just don't see anything real competitive over there going on. Chris Peterson of Washington's always something to look out for. They're kind of taken over as one of the more solidified, consistent teams in this conference. So I think there's something to worry about. Maybe not playoff hopes, but as far as just like a good team this year in Pac-12.
I feel like since he took over, which is funny because he is an offensive coach, their defense is just great every year.
Utah kind of has the same effect over there. They've kind of taken over as one of the more consistent, scary teams in the conference. So I think there is something to look at there. But I think SC is kind of getting back to they're going to play better. I really like Slovis. I think Keaton Slovis is like honestly
he's
NFL,
solid. Slovis
I think
is
he's honestly an NFL draft prospect, and I think he'll play on Sundays one day. Like I don't know how good he'll be at that next level, but I do think he can sling it that good. I love Keaton Slovis. I don't think they're going to be better than what people think because of Clay Helton at all. I think he should have been fired so long ago. Like it's freaking ridiculous. I think he's kind of stayed because there's so much going on at that university with like the Lori Loughlin thing and all getting the rich kids in there through admission through like other sports.
And
you got the JT Daniels getting injured and moving on. Like there's just a lot going on over there. I'm pretty sure they fired Lynn Swan recently. That happened. There's been a lot of overturns, so I think they just stayed pat with Helton as like something consistent. But I love Slovis. I think Slovis is good. Anything else, guys, in college? I know, like I said, we don't.
It's still early. I don't think the headlines are really.
No, I don't got much on college.
2 or 3. I think the headlines in college are really popping a couple 2 or 3.
Interesting. Oklahoma's losing, but
yeah,
I'm not really surprised if you would have watched this.
Yeah,
I'm not really surprised if you would have watched the series QB1 with Spencer Rattler. It's unfortunate to see him struggling, but also like it also kind of showcased a lot of how he was in his practices and with his teammates and so forth. I'm not saying he's a bad team. He portrayed himself as a horrible teammate on that show, but it's also a reality show and it's clips and so forth. So it's take it with a grain of salt. But he also was there last year and redshirted the full season. And I don't think it's really his fault because he's still playing. He's not really playing bad. They're just not winning. He has made some horrible throws and he threw some picks.
Yeah, the end of this last game, that one was bad.
That was horrible. But it's just interesting to see them struggling. But I think Lincoln Riley won't be at Oklahoma much longer. I do think the moment they really do start struggling, he's going to move on to the NFL. He might as well because he already has NFL aspirations.
And that's kind of been the wave. You know, Matt Rule goes over to Carolina. You got Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona. The NFL's kind of experiencing again like it did when Nick Saban kind of first took over, doing well in college. He goes to Miami, then he goes back to college. Like, kind of seems like the NFL's experiencing with college coaches again. So that opportunity might be there sooner than later. I think you're right on that. But, yeah, I got Trevor Lawrence in Clemson, Dabo, or Dabo Sweeney. I mean, those guys just – it's a machine over there. Etienne came back at the running back position. They pump out receivers like nobody's business these days. I really love what Clemson's doing this year. Seems like they're a little better than Bama to me, but Bama might be right on the cusp right there as well. And now we get to transition to Zach's favorite part every week. As always, the diamond, and I'll always preface by saying when we transition over here, 5-star vintage, all your greatest retro gear, old school band t-shirts, wrestling t-shirts, sports jerseys, sports memorabilia stuff, just really cool retro gear and fits and all that stuff. 5starvintage.com. Promo code OTHERTEAM, 15% off your next order. Promo code OTHERTEAM. Use that at 5starvintage.com, man. And constant supporter of the show. Shout out 5starvintage.com, man. Steve, as always. Well, buddy. But yeah, so we're on to the diamond, and
he's back.
I think it's always fair enough to lead off with Dodgers. I think it's kind of who we're centering around here. As you see, they've joined me today on the podcast. The whole crew.
They're going down tonight, brother.
Kirsch, you're out of your mind.
Fernando, Belly's up there. Verdugi even snuck back in a Dodger uniform. He's back there. So yeah, we got the whole.
I really don't care who wins this series. I like both teams, but
right. Terrence isn't even lying. No, Terrence isn't even lying. Terrence would rather see the Padres win. He'd rather see the Padres win.
But I would love to see the Padres win.
And he wants underdogs, so we know that.
I was giving you a hard time when you said
Thank you for justifying why I would like
that is justifiable. I get that. I'm gonna tell you right now. I think the Padres get sunned this postseason. I think they really make noise with us.
It wouldn't surprise me. They should get sunned. They're not even supposed to be here right now.
I really think they get sunned right now.
But if they don't, I can tell you this. If the Dodgers lose, because this is what, a 5-game series?
Yeah. No off days. 5 days straight. Boom, boom, boom.
If they lose game 1, automatically everything gets weird for you guys and all the pressure.
Well, because we all know who's taking them out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what's happening tomorrow.
Look at that baby go! Look at that baby go!
Yeah,
Whoa! Yeah. It was more like, look at that guy go back to the
dugout.
That guy go back to the
dugout.
Oh
yeah. Let's keep that same energy. I love that.
Yeah.
I hope he does.
I hope so.
I really hope. Get the monkey off.
You had to grit. You had to grit through your teeth. And
that Brewers start.
Because he struck out the sorry ass Brewers.
Oh hell no! Yelich is sorry, huh? Yeah, right, man. If you watch the game,
I said
and his
Brewers,
stuff,
not Yelich. But he made Yelich look like a fool.
He did several times, bro. If you were watching the game, no one was touching his stuff that night.
Nobody
was.
Good team Kershaw looked amazing, but I also see Kershaw always look amazing in the early rounds when the baseball's not that heavy.
They broke his. In all fairness,
this is true.
They broke his numbers down in all playoffs. When he's on the mound, when the Dodgers are leading a series, he's virtually unhittable. He does not lose when he takes the mound when they're winning the series. When they're tied,
when that ball gets heavy,
when they're tied, and when he takes the game and the series is tied, it's been up and down. He's had some great starts and he's had some tough moments. And when he takes the ball, when they're down in a series, it's just not good. It's not good.
When the ball gets heavy.
To Terrence's credit, it's very important the Dodgers win tonight. I'll put it that way. It's very important the Dodgers win tonight. Otherwise, it gets weird again with him taking the mound down 1-1. When he takes the mound up 1-0. You can almost put the series away. He's gonna get that next one. I like it. I like the series, but I just think the Padres pitching is too banged up right now. Padres pitching is Clevinger. Their two best guys are kind of not 100% coming in Lamet and in Clevinger. Yes, they're on the Clevinger's pitching night. I love that he made the roster. Gritty, fighting through it, got all that. I just think being banged up against this lineup is too tough of an ask. It's tough enough healthy. Tough enough to go up against this lineup healthy. Your two best guys are damaged. That's what worries me. That's why I think they get sunned, really.
How big of a story is Walker Buehler's blister right now going against this lineup?
I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's much of a story at all because I'll say it this way. I think, first off, Richard Hill's his biggest mentor. He's been talking to him nonstop, consistently the whole time about it. And his last start before the season ended, lights out, money. Tore it up, right? Then his playoff start, he came out early, but he was money in the playoff start. Like, he was really well. He pitched really well in that game. And so I think it's not an issue going forward. I think we'll be fine. I think we've built the best bullpen in possibly the MLB, definitely in the National League, to help with this reason specifically. So that way, if it does get in trouble, you can bring him out and feel comfortable going to that great bullpen that we built this year in case you have to go to him. I'm not concerned about the blister, honestly, going forward.
I don't know if anybody was watching the game when they zoomed in on it while he was pitching. And
it was disgusting.
I will never, ever, ever mock a blister injury again in my life after what I just saw. Are you kidding me? I thought that thing was going to get amputated post-game. Are you serious?
Someone said it looked like he had like a mechanic hand. Like he'd been working on cars. It was like black, crusted, but also exposed in areas. The nail.
Oh shit!
Was
I didn't see it. Oh my god.
Oh my god, bro! It's gross.
If Walker is hurt, that's gonna get weird because that's your big game pitcher.
It's the blister, and
right.
I mean he pitched well in that game with it.
Yeah, but blisters flare up all the time. Like that's hard.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, I think he's done well with it. That's what I was saying. I think he's done well with it. He's got Rich Hill. He's been talking to nonstop on like how to treat it, how to work with it. Who we know is the blister king. Last start before the regular season was great, and his start against the Brewers I thought was well. I think the elite bullpen allows you to work with that too. If it flares up, you can pull them and go to that great bullpen.
I mean, here's just to spiral down it gets weird tomorrow. Blister flares up, run the bullpen out there for like 6 innings.
Oh no, don't tell me this.
And Dodgers lose, and now you got Kershaw stuck on an island out there in the must-win, down 1-0. I mean, that's just a perfect storm of bullshit. If you're a Dodgers
here's the perfect storm. The Dodgers still win that game because they go to Dustin May. They go to Dustin May there, and he essentially closes out the game, right? In this hypothetical situation. But this is
what you're saying.
In game 2 with Kershaw,
your best
right?
scenarios.
So game one, you use the bullpen, right? Then you go Kershaw, he gets into trouble. Then you have to go to May to bail you out in game 2, and it works. This is what's terrifying. Now you have Julio Urias who has to take the mound in game 3, who you don't want starting a playoff game. That's why it would be terrible.
Who's the game 3 starter?
I would assume right now it's going to be Dustin May.
In a perfect world, it's Dustin May.
It's Dustin
May. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay.
Without this bullshit that I just
this was just like crazy.
I just tried to make up some shit and see Zach panic real quick.
But that's how I would envision it going down. If that happens, you either go to May for Buehler early today, or you go bullpen game. May goes for Kershaw if he's in trouble tomorrow, and then you have to go Julio in game 3.
I think you would do it. I think it would the way you said it. I think if it flares up in like the 3rd, right, and you got to get through today's game, I think you throw May. I think you go May. No, you go May because you have to.
Unless if you get an early lead, you go Julio. I think if you get an early lead, if you have an early lead, you go Julio and you roll the dice here.
Well, I can tell you the reason why this series is so interesting because these teams are kind of similar and no lead is safe. So you can get that 5-0 lead and it's like crack shit. It's 6-5 now.
Slam Diego. They are Slam Diego.
Both teams though, like the Dodgers do that all the time as well. Like no lead is safe for either team, so it's gonna be an interesting series. Watch this be a 1-2 every game, 2-1, 3-1 game.
Under.
It'd be like that. You know how it'd be like that.
It probably really is gonna be like that.
They said the Dodgers have outscored their opponents some astronomical number in the 7th, 8th, or 9th, right? Then they broke the stat down and said like for like 25 games, so essentially like half the season, the Dodgers didn't bat in the bottom of the 9th. So they essentially said like they're outscoring their opponents in the 7th and 8th alone by like this crazy stat. So I think that's also going to get weird. Is the Dodgers bullpen has been known to struggle late in games in postseason, and now you have them as also possibly the best hitting team late in games going up against Padres bullpen. I think these games could get really weird late. Outside of that, I know we have Astros versus the world. I think we should touch on that real quick.
For sure. They're going to win the World Series. Anybody going to hate them?
I think it's such an interesting
podcast. Do not bring that energy to this podcast.
Hey, that would be funny as shit, though. I'm not going to lie. You know, I like chaos. That would be hilarious. Like, and then they do the Joe Kelly meme back to him.
Zach would do the whole episode post Stros World Series win like this. Just a fucking.
Bro, if they beat the Dodgers in the World Series, that would be even more wild. Like, and he hit walk off on Joe Kelly.
What a year it would be for me if the Clippers blew a 3-1 lead and the Astros beat the Dodgers in the World Series.
And Lakers won a championship. So.
What a year for me it would be. What a year for the podcast to be at its best time. Jeez.
The video of that guy like drop kicking his TV, that would be thanking Carlos Correa hit the Game 7 walk-off home run. Like that would be.
Is that Google's video? How to kick self?
Yeah, I'm dropping.
How does one kick self?
Off of are you kidding me?
I'm pulling for Oakland. My Oakland A's are really rocking right now. If Terrence could be a honorary Padres fan, I want to be honorary Oakland A's.
Hell yeah. Hop on, man. Hop on.
I'm in there.
Enough room.
Oh, man, they look great. I know they lost that game 1, but at least to get here that far. I mean, I'm big on the A's. I agree, though. It's Astros versus the world, and Dusty Baker has found a way to make that, like, a way to galvanize the clubhouse there, like, to motivate them, like, for this playoff push. It's just, like, you just worded it perfectly. It's us versus the world. Nobody wants to succeed. Everybody thinks we're still cheaters. Nobody wants to even look at you. You know, go.
I just wish they'll shut up and just win. Just stop talking.
I'm so sick
Top
of
four.
Korea. I'm sick of them.
Top 4, Astros up 3-1.
They're up 3-1?
Up 3-1 in the 4th right now. Currently, Astros. George Springer had a game.
Man.
I would like to admit my playoff bracket got absolutely destroyed. Just so that way no one has to expose me later. Reds, White Sox, Indians, all bing, bing, bing.
Strike 1, 2, 3.
Boom, boom, boom. Get out of here. Cubs got dismantled by the Marlins, who deserve
the Reds literally
the Reds are good.
Couldn't get a hit and watch Trevor Bauer walk off their team.
Terrence, we were texting during the extra ending game like, fuck, how have they not scored in this game?
I'm just watching this game like, you literally guys had a chance to keep this guy and he's not staying. Like, no. Why would I stay when we get here and you can't get a run? The game, you have to score to win. Like, that's kind of part of the game.
We can't glaze over the Marlins without mentioning the most astronomical sports stat I may have ever heard in my life. The Miami Marlins, the Miami Marlins franchise used to be Florida, but that Marlins franchise has never lost a playoff series in its entire.
Yeah, that's wild. That is insane.
That's the most crazy stat to me I've ever heard.
Dontrell Willis.
I love the D Train. Come on now.
Juan Pierre. My guys.
Yeah.
The Josh
shout
Beckett
out
was my shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Josh Beckett, my guy.
Definitely shout out props on the Marlins. I wanted to bring them up today. Donnie Baseball deserves Manager of the Year. Only proven it. Tough loss this morning. They lost 9-5 to the Braves, so they're down 1-0 in that series. But
who pitched?
Fried versus Alcantara. It went 9-5.
Sound like neither one of them had a good outing.
Yeah, it was. I want to say it was like 4-1 Marlins early, and the Braves stormed all the way back. So tomorrow you'll have Sixto and Ian Anderson, I believe, are the slated matchup for tomorrow. 2 rookies. It should get weird. Do not count the Marlins out. I'm done kind of looking them over. I think they're formidable. I think they're dangerous the rest of the way. I mean, they've proven it. And they're loving the underdog role. What do you guys think about this playoff format going forward? I like it. I said my only change, move the first round to 5 games. Keep it all, the higher seed, same stadium, 5 games, no days off, run it like that.
No, I like the 3 games. I like the 3 games because like I was mentioning before, you're going to have teams that aren't even meant to be here anyways. You can't give them a 5-game series to get weird. Like, it's got to be quick and get them in or out of here.
I don't think – I think on the flip side of that, I don't think the 3-game series is fair to my 1 seed. I think my 1 seed should be able to rebound if the 8 seed comes in and punches them in the face.
That's fair.
Yeah, you can make the argument for both ways. I think it should be 3 games. I think it should be 3 games just for the sense that in a normal season, you already had so many damn games.
Right.
We're already now pushing it for a lot more games. So I just think we should keep it 3 games. 1 game obviously wasn't enough. That was unfair to anybody that ever had to play in those 1-game playoffs.
Right.
But 3 games is perfect. Like, you get a chance to rebuttal 1 time, and if it doesn't work, sorry, go home, brother.
I'm okay with that. You guys like the 18 or 16 teams, 8 on 8?
Yeah.
It feels like a lot. It feels like a lot, but
I like this. Baseball is struggling to get all of its stars recognized. I mean, shit, we just put 16 teams in the playoffs. We still couldn't get Mike Trout in here. Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
that's really the MLB's punching air right now, dude.
Yeah, for sure, dog. They're fucking air punching the fuck out. They're in the room pissed. But I like the sense of like trying to get more stars exposed to the postseason every year with this format, even if they are on some lesser teams at times. I like that. Like, Trevor Bauer was one of the best stars and stories this year. He was so Conor McGregor eccentric. He was always pushing, back on Rob Manfred and everything. Without this format, we didn't get to see him throw that absolute fucking gem in game 1 that he threw. I liked that sense, and I wish we would have got Mike Trout. I don't like the Angels much, but I would have killed to see that Mike Trout team and Mike Trout and Ohtani and Rendon to get some playoff action. I would have loved to see that. So I like it in that sense.
Yeah, I do like the playoff. I know we had a Twitter conversation. They said, I like how exclusive the baseball playoff is and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I want the underdog story. I just don't. I mean, if the Magic would have beat the Bucks this year in round 1, I would have been stoked. I thought it would have been great entertainment. I would have been on the edge of my seat.
The We Believe team is remembered for beating the Dallas Mavericks. They lost the next round,
right?
But they were remembered for beating the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, so I like it. I think next week we'll really be deep into this playoffs. We'll be in the championship series. We'll have really good baseball talk for next week. I think it's kind of building on this podcast, and I like that. I'm here for it.
I got a little fever in the last week.
Yeah.
I got a little
and
fever.
Trust me, this Padres series will bring it out of you because I think it's going to get real interesting. Man, boys, good stuff. We ran through a lot. We had to bring in some college football today. Decided to bang it out. That was my gun, banging it out.
No squirt gun.
Yeah.
Nerf.
I'm sorry. Okay. Let's bring it home. What have we been up to in the last week, man?
I actually have I watched a new documentary series on HBO, and
it's about comic books, superheroes.
No, it's me. It's 2 things. It's comic books,
unicorns,
shit like that, or it's true crime. And this one was murder mystery true crime about the Golden State Killer. It's actually a really crazy story. Patton Oswalt, the comedian, it's about his wife who actually ended up dying before the book was released on some Zodiac shit. She was a true crime writer, and she got completely immersed trying to solve this case, basically from her computer and interviews and tracking people down, and connected the dots between the East Area rapist who ended up being the Golden State Killer, and basically connecting the dots that they were the same person. And he finally does get caught, I believe. They finally get.
He's an old ass man now, isn't he?
Yeah. This was all done in the 70s, so he's old as fuck now. But it was kind of the toll it took on her, but also how she solved this fucking case. And she ended up dying due to an overdose of opiates, which was really sad. It was really sad to watch. And kudos to Patton Oswalt to be able to do this documentary and not make it about him or really about her, and keep it about her making the book and her solving this case. But the last couple episodes are really tear jerky.
Okay, so what's it called? I'm hooked on this story.
It's called I'm Gone in the Dark, because
Netflix,
HBO. There's one of the girls that he attacks, he tells her, if you make a noise, like, I'll kill you and I'll be gone in the dark. And that's where the name comes from, which I thought was just like hair on the stood up on the back of my neck.
Nice. Okay, so that sounds like
but it's really good. If you're into true crime and murder, mystery, stuff like that, it's really fucking good. And it's crazy how they finally are able to catch this guy and like the depths they go to get him. I finally had something new to bring that I have watched. That is what I have watched.
Man, that was nuts.
TED Talk is over.
Yeah, that was nuts. Terrence, you been on anything new, buddy?
No. Actually, no, I've been pretty busy, so I haven't had a chance to do anything lately.
That's good. If you're busy with work, that's always good. That's always supportive here on the pod.
Unless you're the one actually busy having to do it.
Yeah, I feel that. I have had a little bit of work, but I just watched stuff I've already watched recently. I watched Remember the Titans the past week because that anniversary had just come up, so I had a good.
Football is fun, sir. It was,
yeah,
not anymore.
It's literally my favorite movie. Like, I can watch it every day, but it's so good. That and then my girlfriend had me watching chick flicks. We watched Clueless, which I'm going to support again on the podcast. It's a really good chick flick. You guys should watch that.
Never forget that.
500 Days of Summer.
Every girlfriend's heartthrob, Ryan Gosling, was an absolute fucking liability at cornerback. Just never forget that. That was such a good Swiss cheese out there. Never forget it.
Yeah, that's dope.
You know how to bring us home then, Terrence?
As always, Bears suck. Lions, you disappoint me. It's the other team. Mamba forever.